Armed American Radio, and it's right here on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 1025 FM, KQAM.
Brought to you by Rob's Gun Tech and Firearm.
When it comes to cleaning homes, dust, grime, and soap scum don't stand a chance when a team of highly trained dirt assassins from the Maids hit the scene. Ruthlessly efficient, trained in a 22-step process perfected through years of practice by the Maids. These masters of messes have only one motto: we fight dirty. Call now for a free estimate and schedule every other week service. Call the Maids, 316-832-9058. Or visit maids.com.
This is a Steckline Communication Station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Continental Truck Accessories, 6701 South Broadway. Show your truck some love with Continental Truck Accessories.
Good Friday morning. The U.S. Attorney's Office says two people from Wichita, 34-year-old Mark Mullins and 35-year-old Kamala Blanchard, have been charged with 1 count each of making counterfeit bills and 2 counts of passing them. The crimes are alleged to have occurred back in December of 2017 and January of last year. If convicted, both Mullins and Blanchard face a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in federal prison and a fine of $250,000. A school bus carrying 3 students involved in a South Wichita wreck around 3:30 yesterday afternoon near Hydraulic and Wassel. KTV reports Sedgwick County Dispatch confirmed that a van had hit the school bus. School spokesperson Susan Arnsman said the students were from Dunlap Transition Campus at Chisholm, a program for students with special needs. One student complained about minor injuries but refused medical treatment. And the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for Sedgwick County tomorrow night through Sunday morning. I'm Rick Everett. Now sports.
As time expired last night, Samaje Haynes-Jones jumper lifted the Wichita State men's basketball team to a 65-63 win over the Yukon Huskies. The victory was the 300th at Wichita State for head coach Greg Marshall in his 12th season. Samaje Haynes-Jones, the senior on the team, was excited he could do that for his basketball team.
It's just amazing, just the whole feeling, just the crowd being all in it, and my teammates, having trusted me to make that shot.
Next up, the Shockers are on the road at SMU Sunday at 1 p.m. From the Sports Desk, I'm Doug Downs.
When it comes to the trailer you're hauling behind your vehicle, whether it's a big rig or a pickup truck, MJ's Truck Repair at exit 46 off I-135 in Mound Ridge, Kansas has your back. Doonan and Chaparral drop decks, flatbeds, and heavy hauling trailers for the big rigs, along with gooseneck livestock trailers by Barrett. And for your pickup truck, the utility line of trailers from Rice with 5x10 to 8x20 boxes. MJ's Truck Repair, Mound Ridge.
Send your taste buds on an exciting flavor vacation at Hurricane Sports Grill. Indulge in Hurricane's made-to-order jumbo chicken wings with 35 fabulous sauces from our sauce bar, half-pound burgers, and savory tacos. With 20 beers on tap, including local crafts or your choice of Hurricane specialty cocktails, come and enjoy your favorite sport on any of our 30 TVs or call ahead for carry-out game day platters. Don't forget Hurricane's daily specials, including Monday's all-you-can-eat chicken wings. Hurricane Sports Grill, a fun-filled, family-friendly environment at 13th and Tyler.
Spring is right around the corner. Your truck is getting excited because it knows it's almost time to go out and play. I've got Bob Shippers with me from Continental Truck Accessories down on South Broadway. Bob, it is the season to get the trucks ready for playtime.
Absolutely, Rick. Get your truck ready with a new Sentry or ATC topper or lid, soft cover, tonneau cover, roll and lock, grill guard, and don't forget their hitches, receivers, and fifth wheels to be able to tow your boat, camper, and your other play toys.
See Continental Truck Accessories at 6701 South Broadway. Have you ever stopped to think about just how many songs have been written about time? Multiply it by hundreds. And that's the number of timepieces at Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop. Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop. 1946 West 13th Street North in the heart of Riverside. Over 340 years of roofing experience, and that's just the management and estimating team. It's no wonder Ray Roofing is one of the most successful roofing companies in Kansas. As a sixth-generation family-owned business, Ray Roofing specializes in built-up, modified, cold-applied, EPDM, TPO, and tapered roofing systems. Whether the structure roof is commercial, sheet metal, or flat residential, Ray Roofing was founded on the belief that a roof is only as good as the roofer applying it. Ray Roofing, online at WRAYroofing.com.
Now, back to the KQAM News Desk. South Korea says it will work with the United States and North Korea to help reach a deal on denuclearization, this after the Hanoi summit collapsed yesterday. But correspondent Ivan Watson reports North Korea is saying some positive things about the Trump-Kim meeting.
North Korea's state media has been quite glowing about the meeting, addressing the fact that denuclearization was in fact discussed, and saying that both parties end the discussions on good terms, not mentioning that there was a failure to reach an agreement.
The Department of Homeland Security has extended protections allowing immigrants from Sudan, Nicaragua, Haiti, and El Salvador to live and work legally in the United States. Pakistani officers have brought the Indian pilot captured from a downed plane to a border crossing with India for handover. Pakistan's government says it's a gesture of peace toward avoiding another war between India and Pakistan, both nuclear powers. Pre-market trading pumping up stock futures on Wall Street. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Hatman Jacks. Amazing headwear for women and men. At the Clock Tower in Delano, Hatman Jacks.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, mostly sunny, high around 47, mostly cloudy and 22 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of only 35. Snow in the forecast Saturday night could be heavy at times with blustery conditions, a low around 11. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 6:06, it's currently 27 degrees.
Finding the Irish in everyone. Happy St. Paddy's Day from the Big Talker, KQAM. It's time for Reason.
You have a public utility company. You can choose to buy into it. It's offering you a service. It's not guaranteed. It's not mandatory. It's not forced upon you. Remember, if you don't pay your electric bill, your electricity gets shut off. It's very simple. If you have a vacant home, it gets shut off. It's not a mandatory, forced upon you type of tyranny that is a public utility company. So why would they have the ability to charge someone at a higher rate to say you need to pay your fair share to offset the cost for other people?
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Boy, oh boy, what a week it's been. Hey, welcome into the Voice of Reason. I see you there, or you see me there, or something. Welcome into the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are simulcasting on TV. Yep, we're on TV. We're rocking it on YouTube Live as well, youtube.com. Find KQAM Radio. Subscribe to the page. Watch us live each and every day. It is one of the best days of the entire week. It is, of course, a Friday. And yes, let's make it a free-for-all Friday. Come on. Today is the day where you get to decide what you want to talk about. Most of the week, I set the tone and the topics. But today, it's all up to you, and I just sit back and enjoy it. Come on now. That's kind of what I'm talking about. 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. If you want to join into the ABC Recycling Hotlines, I want to hear from you. We have a big show, big stuff going on. We have a couple things to give away. I have two. I did not give one yesterday away, and I apologize for that. I have two. My final two pair of tickets to Metallica coming up to Interest Bank Arena on Monday night. Next week, I'm really excited about the show. So, Metallica, we have two pair of tickets we'll be giving away throughout the show today. Stay tuned in for that. We have our Pass It or Exit of the Week like usual. We have some national stuff. We have some statewide stuff. We have some big things going on. So, we'll get to all of it as we can throughout the show today. And hopefully, you get to stay tuned in for as much of it as possible. You can also leave me a message, give me a call, shoot me a message on Facebook, on YouTube. You can email me, Andy at KQAMradio.com. KQAM.com, however you'd like to do it as well. Let me know what's on your mind. I want to start off in the last show. I don't know if you listened to the morning show prior to us here on the KQAM airwaves with America in the Morning, or First Light, with First Light on that program. But they actually talked about a topic that I wanted to bring up myself on the show today, and that was the latest story shows that there are 2 reasons right now why the price of going out to a restaurant is more expensive, and why even grocery stores, what they did leave out is the fact that grocery stores and food themselves is more expensive than what they have been in the past as well. Not just in Kansas because of our ridiculously high sales tax rate on food, which is kind of dumb to even charge sales tax on food. I love how the Democrats and the progressives say that something is a right and you can't live without it, and therefore it is a right, but yet we're going to charge you and tax you and regulate you for that right. So therefore, yeah, you can have it, but we're going to do it through government mandate and tell you how to do it and how not to do it. So I find that very interesting and fascinating. I always laugh when they are hypocritical, but when aren't they? So I guess that's the really big question. But the price of restaurants going out to eat is becoming more expensive across the nation, and there are 2 major reasons why. Neither of them have to do with the price of food going up, which is actually very interesting because with commodity prices right now, you'd think that the prices would actually be going up with the food a little bit as well, but it's not. The 2 main reasons why the price of restaurants is becoming more expensive is, number 1, the price of, wait for it, labor. Yeah. You know, this whole fight for $15 an hour minimum wage and trying to get people bumps up in their salary because, well, you know, we need to have a livable wage on there, and because of inflation that the government created, and now the government mandate that we need to raise the rate of the prices of salaries and for hourly wages, then that's on the government's end as well. Remember, always keep in the back of your mind, government sees an opportunity, they create a problem, then they say there's the problem, and then they blame us for the problem, and that they say capitalism is a failed reason for the problem, which is not the case in any way, shape, or form. It's actually the opposite. Capitalism actually creates a salary or creates a price or creates a wage based on the price of the market and the value of that job and that labor in the market, and that price of that labor in the market is comparable to other things in the economy to where they can actually afford to live off of that. The reason they can't is when government intervenes and when they charge for a higher cost of goods, when they create inflation, when they begin to regulate, the government screws up everything. So, number 1, price of labor. Shocker, right? Number 2, big shocker as well, the price of health care and insurance. So as the company, whatever company may be, whatever business it may be, whatever restaurant it may be, and I would go beyond even restaurants to manufacturing, I would go to office jobs, I would go to really anything. Radio industry here. Take a look at any radio company. Take a look at any business. Take a look at any retail store. You have employees that you're hiring. Guess what? The prices of the salaries are going up. The prices of the goods have to go up to compensate for that. The price of the cost of insurance for the company to cover the insurance for the employee has skyrocketed. So they have to pay more out of pocket, or they charge more to the employee in order to cover that. Because of all that, the prices go up. Big shocker, right? I'm really kind of interested to hear from a progressive, which I know you're listening. I know you're out there. I'd really love to hear from progressives to try and argue that's not the reason why it's so expensive to go out to eat nowadays. Now, if you listen to the Dave Ramsey program, you're not supposed to go out to eat unless you actually have your debts paid off, so it wouldn't really matter. But at the same time, is that breaking point on saying, you know what, it's not worth it anymore. The value's too high. I'm not going to go out to eat. I'm not saying like at every restaurant. Most restaurants are actually trying to find ways to keep it low. We have a lot of restaurants that advertise with us here on KQAM, and they're the ones trying to keep it low. They're the ones trying to offer you the value of that. But there are many restaurants, especially if you go up into the higher-end restaurants and the little fancier ones. And there was one place in Colorado that I always remember called the Melting Pot. And I don't think there's anyone around here, but it's one of those like the it's really fancy. They have a candlelight thing. They have the whatever it is, the big pot where you like boil the meat right in front of you, the whatever it's called, I don't remember. But, you know, you walk out of there with a minimum $150 ticket, and those prices have gone up. The fancy restaurant, you get more and more expensive. At what point do we say, you know what, we're going to eat at home? You know what, we're going to go towards the good stuff. We're going to go and get a delicious burger. We're going to get delicious fried chicken. We're going to go and do something different because restaurants are too expensive and hiring employees is very difficult. At what time do you say, you know what, I'm not going to go buy a retail thing because the retail prices are too high, because the retail prices went up, because the employees' prices went up? This is the free market under assault. This is a very dangerous thing. This is what we fight for each and every day. So I find it ironic as the story now is beginning, nationwide, they're beginning to admit the fact that the price of salaries and wages and the price of insurance costs are going up, and therefore the price of goods are beginning to go up, and people are starting to recognize it, realize it, and get angry with it. And we know the very simple solution, but they don't want to admit it. They really don't want to admit it. 316-721-8255. I find it kind of interesting. On the other front, on the political front, from Politico.com, the Democrats in turmoil in the House of Representatives. This is not a day at the beach, according to Nancy Pelosi, telling moderate Democrats to stop voting with Republicans. How could you? Now, that's what you call an iron grip right there. You have the Democrats that are trying to be in harmony and be in unison, have the nice little unity working in the House of Representatives, really showing their power, trying to stick it to the man, stick it to the Republicans. I don't know if you've seen or not, but they also are opening up new investigations on President Donald Trump. Yeah. Why? Well, because, we need to waste time. This is, as they say, wasting the money, and Democrats really don't caring about where the money goes in Congress and how much they spend on whatever. They're now investigating new things because now they're going to investigate Trump's attacks on the media to see if they're unconstitutional. They are desperate for an impeachment article to be presented in the House. They're desperate to try and move forward with it. Look, they wouldn't do this if they had one shred of evidence to actually try and go with impeachment with what they have right now, and they don't. That's why they're starting new investigations. If they had one shred of evidence of Russian collusion, which they don't, if they had one shred of evidence of dirty business dealings after the Cohen hearing, which they don't, if they had one shred of evidence anywhere, they would begin the articles of impeachment. But they don't. So what do? Now they're going to continue on. And we said this, and we knew this at the beginning of the election last year when the Democrats were going to potentially win the House of Representatives, was that we were going to see investigation after investigation. They were going to have committee hearing after committee hearing. They were going to bring in new people after new people. They're going to investigate after investigate, and they're going to find something to waste time, to not focus on serious issues. We're not going to see a whole lot of legislation passed out of the House of Representatives. We're not going to see any productivity come out of there because they're going to be investigating everything to find one single shred of evidence to say, you know what, you're incapable of being president. You're not allowed to be there. We're going to impeach you. One thing. So now they're taking it to the next level of, well, we don't find Russian collusion. All right, I guess we can't get him on that one. Maybe he's a shady business dealing. Maybe we should rely on AOC to question Cohen and ask about tax cuts that he got locally to be able to build a golf course. That's going to get him. Right there. That's going to get him, baby. Or maybe Cohen just saying that he's a racist because, racist because he's Trump. And I've been around him a long time, and I know. Hey, have you lied before? Well, yeah, but I'm not lying this time. So they didn't get him on that one. Now they're going to investigate his attacks on the media. They're literally going to open up an investigation. And again, I hate that word literally. They're literally going to open up an investigation and a new committee hearing and bring new people in about his attacks on the media, on whether it's actually constitutional or not. And if it's not, because he shouldn't be attacking the free press like that, then they can start the articles of impeachment. This is how loony they are. Wasting money, wasting time, but they don't care. To them, see, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I don't know whether it's complete blind ignorance because they just have no idea what they're doing, or if they think they're too smart for their own good and they're doing it because they don't care and they know well what they're doing, but they just don't care. They're waving around like they just don't care. I don't know which one to believe right now. AOC, she's talking to a T of the socialist, Marxist, Hitler-style governmental ideals of environmentalism, of not having children, of complete government control, of overhauling the entire system. The complete idea. I mean, she is talking to a T just like what the socialist Nazis used to do in Germany. So the question is, does she know that and she's aware of it because she believes in that? Or is she that honestly not that bright? I don't know which. She's either on one end of the spectrum or the other. Either she's completely naive and ignorant, and it's just walking around blindly saying really dumb things because you believe it in your heart of hearts, but you have no concept of history and whatsoever. Or you're well aware of everything, and you're very, very smart, putting it right out in front of the general public, and the general public not recognizing it for the most part. Some do. You and I do, obviously, but many of the general public not recognizing it, and she thinks she's so smart for her own good. I don't know which way to go on this one. So I'm very intrigued. But now Nancy Pelosi not too happy because she said this is not the day at the beach and getting upset with moderate Democrats actually wanting to vote with Republicans on some issues. And you can't be doing that. You got to get in the party line here. You better step up. You better be voting with the radical Democrats and be doing ridiculous things because that's what you have to do. I'm Speaker of the House, and I will tell you what you can and cannot do in the House of Representatives. So there you go. Division and tear going on in the Democrat ranks. Just as they start to get a little bit of momentum by having the majority of House of Representatives, they begin to crumble because they're self-imploding, like we said they would. Just continue to pop the popcorn. I think I need a new bag because, well, it's too fun not to watch, right? 316-721-8255. Let's go to the phones here. Phones are lighting up on the ABC Recycling hotlines. Good morning. What's your name?
This is Pete.
Hey, good morning, Pete. How are you?
Well, I got 2 points. One to your restaurant analogy.
Yes.
Yes, the whole thing, if you ever gone out to like McDonald's or Burger King lately, you opened up your Whopper or your Big Mac, and the only thing missing is the crime scene tape because this thing looks like it was hit by a bus. And they want to charge you premium dollar for this.
Sure.
I have to agree with you. I think it's time we walk away. I mean, okay, so the restaurant chains are being forced to pay for all these benefits and stuff and increase wages for these employees. The fact of the matter is these employees are not worth the powder to blow them up in most cases.
Sure. Well,
look at the pride that they put into putting their product out there, and as any restaurateur will tell you, presentation is 90% of the battle.
Sure.
And their presentation stinks.
Well, yeah, if you go to a fast food restaurant, you see the advertisement, and they're like, oh, yeah, it looks big and hearty and juicy and wonderful, and then you get it, and it looks like it got flattened by, getting run over. So, I mean, you're absolutely right, but and again, I'm not advocating to boycott any businesses or anything of that sort, but but at some point, you're right. If the cost of labor goes up, if the cost of insurance goes up, if the fight for 15 wins and we end up moving in this absurd, ridiculous direction, then no matter what we try and do, the price are going to go up to a point in the market where I think consumers will be like, it's not worth to do it any longer, and we're going to find alternatives. And it's going to be like the healthcare industry, where the consumer market's going to come out with a new innovative way to try and serve you food as a restaurant style or a different style of a restaurant, or the machine that pops it out when you do the like a vending machine with a heater and a pizza maker or something. And they're going to start coming out with new innovative ways, and we're going to get rid of the cost expense right now. And right now, that cost expense that's really driving the wedge into the system is the actual laborer, and they're going to find ways to get around that.
Andy, it wouldn't be so bad if the price went up and the quality went up with it.
Sure.
But the quality's gone downhill and the price has gone up, so there's a real schism.
Sure.
Now, to your other thing about Nancy Pelosi, reining in the Democrats, I've got a piece of advice for you Democrats, moderate Democrats out there that see the logic in voting for certain things. You ought to tell Nancy Pelosi to stuff it because she's not running in your district, and she is going to cost you your position if you follow her.
Yeah, but she doesn't care.
You were voted to represent the people of your district, not Nancy Pelosi. So tell that bad-eyed ding-dong to go climb a pole.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is very true. I agree, Pete, and I appreciate it. The problem is, though, is that I think she's got a tight rein on some of those individuals, and they're going to be too scared to do that because that sounds nice, but hey, you know what? She's just as her own family says that, she'd do some really nasty things to you and go after you if you end up trying to betray the Nancy Pelosi, the plugs, or what does Mark Levin call her? Yeah, Nancy Stretch Pelosi with all the plastic surgery she's gotten. So, hey, whatever. No personal attack, just saying she's kind of vicious, and be aware of her. But, hey, maybe that's why Democrats, hint, wink, wink, you maybe need some new leadership, because the old guard's not too happy with what you're doing. Got some other calls on the line. Don't go anywhere. Got to take a break here. 23 minutes past the hour on a Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday, baby. What's on your mind today here on The Voice of Reason?
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Mead. Well, what kind of effort will it take to quickly bring high-speed internet access to everyone in rural America? We get the story from Gary Crawford.
The Eagle has landed. Putting the first men on the moon required a huge, concentrated national effort, and Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue says that bringing high-speed internet access to rural America should be approached the same way, a moonshot approach. Last year, Congress appropriated $600 million toward that, another $600 million this year, but according to Perdue,
it's only the tip of the iceberg.
He told the House Ag Committee this week money appropriated so far will be used to demonstrate best ways to get rural broadband projects done by bringing in outside money and expertise. The actual cost of bringing internet access to every American in rural areas is going to be in the several billions of dollars.
The federal government, frankly, doesn't have enough money to do all this itself. What we're going to try to learn is how to optimize and leverage federal incentives where there's not an economic reason to do this, get people who are in that business that know how to do it and to do the most of it.
So even $1 billion won't be enough.
Not nearly enough.
Gary Crawford, Washington.
In other news, Japan, of course, is an important trading partner for U.S. agriculture, especially when it comes to beef and pork producers. That was the main topic of a panel discussion during the recent USDA Outlook Forum. United States Meat Export Federation economist Aaron Borer says that Japan is the leading value destination for both U.S. beef and pork. 2018 exports are expected to reach $2.1 billion and $1.65 billion, respectively, when year-end data is available. She also warns that the competitive terrain in Japan has gotten much steeper for U.S. exports. That's because of Japan's potential trade agreements with Australia, the European Union, Canada, New Zealand, Mexico, and Chile. That situation will only get worse, she says, unless the United States can establish similar access to Japanese markets. Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network.
Hey, Mark Walters with Armed American Radio, and I want to tell you about Rob's Gun Tech and Firearms. They're the dealer to buy, sell, trade, and even consign. Budget to high-end custom firearms, ammo, accessories. They've got it all and feature Wilson Combat, Gun Crafters Industries, and Nighthawk Custom. Have a request? Work with their in-house gunsmith, find the right solution for you. Rob's Gun Tech offers pricing programs and discounts and proudly gives back to the Veteran Suicide Network. Learn more today at robsguntechandfirearms.com or visit them just east of 159th North on East Kellogg, where they know more than just the price.
Hi ladies, it's Tiffany talking about my all-time favorite home decorating source, Jabara's Flooring Outlet. You've heard of Jabara's Flooring for years. They have the largest selection of carpet, tile, wood, and all your favorite floor coverings in the state. So what's new for 2019? Stop by Jabara's this month during their Live in Style Customer Appreciation Month and find out. Take it from me, ladies, a real shopper, someone who loves a great deal and super quality. See Jabara's for your new floors. Like they say, the smartest shoppers shop Jabara's. 17th and North Broadway, Wichita.
Here's some simple math for you. Chevy cars and trucks just cost less at Countryside Motors in Wellington. You want the best price on a Silverado in Kansas or Oklahoma? Check out Countryside Motors in Wellington. Are you looking for that perfect SUV? They have the great selection of Buick Enclaves, Envisions, and Encores, again, at the best prices anywhere. Countryside Motors in Wellington. Folks, it's simple math. For the best prices on cars and trucks, check out Countryside Motors in Wellington. Online at countrysidemotors.net. Simple math. Best prices. Come on out to the country and save. Countryside Motors in Wellington, Kansas.
Right now, it still gets cold and it's hard to keep things hot. Pretty soon, though, it'll be hot and hard to keep things cold. Be ready with the latest from Yeti at Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays. When you want the best in temperature control, one name stands above the rest. And when it comes to Yeti, Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays has you covered. From mugs to jugs, coolers to flips, backpacks, and more. Pride Ag Ace Hardware is your Yeti store. The store that takes pride in serving you. Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays.
Join Joe Pags live today at 5 here on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Minutes past the hour. Hey, so I don't know whether I should be proud or whether I should be a little upset. Or, I don't know, not upset at all. I don't get upset, really. It takes a lot to get me upset. I just kind of chuckle. But maybe we're making it big. Maybe we're broadening the spectrum here on the show just a little bit, because we got our first negative review on Facebook. I know, right? And I was like, uh-oh, what am I doing? Maybe, am I stuttering too much? Maybe I misspoke on a couple of things. I don't know what's going on here. And someone mentioned doesn't recommend the voice of reason. Why? Because of the misogyny and racial fear-mongering as a standard for the show. I don't know if they've listened to the program, but, hey, okay. I don't know. I don't know whether I should be bummed out or whether I should just I don't know. You can't win them all. Can't win them all. Everybody's got the haters. So you know what? Let the haters hate. Got to take a bottom of the hour break. We'll get your phone calls as soon as we come back. Lots more to get to. It's a Friday, baby. Let's have some fun right here on the show. Radio, TV, online, social media, everywhere. This is The Voice of Reason.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
A gesture of peace about to take place at the border between increasingly tense India and Pakistan, as Pakistani officers have brought the Indian pilot captured from a downed plane there, planning to hand him over to India. The New York Times reports President Trump ordered his then Chief of Staff John Kelly to grant Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner a top-secret security clearance after intelligence agencies rejected his application. Correspondent Shimon Prokopesh tells us that's not what the White House said at the time.
When Jared Kushner when it was announced and his lawyers came out and they said, oh, he's getting his security clearance, they try to act as if they went through the normal channels, and this was given to Jared Kushner after an extensive background check, and then the FBI and the CIA all kind of signed off on this. And then obviously now we learned that that just wasn't the case.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee is adding his name to the growing 2020 Democratic presidential field, making it official later today in Seattle. I'm Michael Toscano.
No one compliments you when their paycheck is correct, but make one mistake and you risk alienating your entire workforce. With Kronos, we make sure your payroll is done right the first time, from punch to paycheck. Embedded checklists, simplified workflows, a single source of truth. HR, payroll, talent, and timekeeping in one unified system, all with a proven implementation approach and simplified, transparent pricing. Learn more at kronos.com/payroll. Kronos, workforce innovation that works.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples?
Doing business like a CEO while saving like a CFO.
Staples has all the supplies you need to run your business like a boss at prices that'll make your bookkeeper smile.
Now that is an achievement.
And right now, a case of Staples multi-purpose paper is only $39.99. Plus, rewards members earn an additional $10 back in rewards.
But hurry, this offer's good this week only. Staples, there's a whole lot in store.
Ends 3/2/19, limit 2 per customer, valid on SKU 513096.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Friday. The Kansas Highway Patrol says a man died following a crash in Greenwood County early yesterday afternoon. The crash happened just after noontime on Highway 54 at the K-99 junction east of Eureka. Troopers say a car driven by Terrence Lucas of Yucca, Oklahoma, failed to yield at an intersection and was struck by a semi. The 53-year-old Lucas died from his injuries. The truck driver also had minor injuries. The future of the ombudsman position at the Kansas Department for Children and Families is unclear. In the past, the ombudsman was available for parents who were frustrated with the agency for some reason. Wichita Eagle reports that new leaders at DCF are expanding a team that responds to foster families and others, and that team may not include an ombudsman. And winter storm watch is posted for the majority of Kansas by the National Weather Service as another snow event takes aim on the state. Mid-American Network News.
Send your taste buds on an exciting flavor vacation at Hurricane Sports Grill. Indulge in Hurricane's made-to-order jumbo chicken wings with 35 fabulous sauces from our sauce bar, half-pound burgers, and savory tacos. With 20 beers on tap, including local crafts or your choice of Hurricane specialty cocktails, come and enjoy your favorite sport on any of our 30 TVs or call ahead for carry-out game day platters. Don't forget Hurricane's daily specials, including Monday's all-you-can-eat chicken wings. Hurricane Sports Grill, a fun-filled, family-friendly environment at 13th and Tyler.
Whatever your business, count on EMC Insurance, because our business is protecting your business. EMC Insurance Companies has the knowledge and expertise to provide you with the right insurance coverage options. And when you insure your business with EMC, you receive the added value of our free loss control services, no matter the size of your company. Contact your local independent insurance agent and ask about insurance from EMC. In Newton, call Fuquay Insurance at 283-0800.
This is Phil Martinez from Phil's Coins. It's sad when it happens, but there are still businesses out there that will try the old bait and switch. They'll promise you one thing to get you in and then deliver far less, or something totally different once you're there. At Phil's Coins, when we say we buy, sell, and trade with honesty and integrity, that's exactly what we mean. In fact, I encourage you to shop the competition first. It will make doing business with Phil's Coins like a walk in the park. Phil's Coins, 9344 West Central.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, mostly sunny, high around 47, mostly cloudy and 22 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of only 35. Snow in the forecast Saturday night could be heavy at times with blustery conditions, a low around 11. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 6:35, it's currently 27 degrees.
Call the Voice of Reason now on the ABC Recycling phone lines at 721-8255. This is the Big Talker, KQAM. Keeping reason in the world of politics.
But if you're really angry, why in the first place are you not frustrated and angry to the fact that you have to spend $250 to $600 of your own cash to be able to provide resources in the classroom?
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
That's what I'm talking about. 36 minutes past the hour. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. Big stuff happening today. Congressman Roger Marshall of the 1st District on the western part of the state. He'll be joining us at 8 a.m. today. We'll talk about the border security funding, the declaration of the national emergency, also the abortion bill that was voted down in Congress over the last couple of days. Lots of good stuff. All that good stuff going on. Plus, we may touch on the Cohen hearing as well from a couple days ago as well. So lots to cover with Congressman Roger Marshall. He'll be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour this morning. Our Pass It or Axe It coming up in hour number 2 as well, which is fun. But first, let's get into an AOC crazy time, shall we?
Now time for the Crazy Cortez Corner.
She never seems to disappoint while she's presenting her Green New Deal about trying to end airfare and spend $93 trillion, which, by the way, we have $22 trillion of national debt right now. 22. She would want to triple that just to spend on energy efficiency. This is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. It's taken the history of this nation, the existence of this nation, to get to $22 trillion in debt currently, and she wants to just triple it just like that. Because why not? Because why not? We're morally correct, right? So while she's talking about environmentalism and she talks about regulating cows because cows are really bad and we can't have cow farts out in the air and we can't be driving cars and we can't be flying airplanes, she was someone had snapped a picture of her. Now, granted, this is a really bad, crappy way to actually take a picture of. What you need to do is you need to actually go up and pretend you're a fan and snap a picture if you're trying to do what they were trying to do. Because according to Fox News, someone was trying to covertly snap a picture of AOC and her staffer at a restaurant eating a burger. I know. Now, for one, it really brings to light about the question that can she actually afford eating the burger, because she's now the rich and elite, and she's a congresswoman, and she's made a $10 million deal with Netflix for a documentary on her, so she can afford the increased cost of burgers in restaurants. But number two, if the burgers are bad and cows are bad, why is her and her staff sitting there eating a burger during a time at a restaurant? And now she got upset, not because of the fact that she got caught eating a burger, but she tweeted out tonight, a dude was creepily and obviously taking a picture of me while pretending he wasn't, and I had to break his imagery fourth wall and say, hi, I'm a person, this is weird. So I get it. You know, you don't try and covertly do that because then you get the hashtag Me Too movement going on, or you get something like this where she blames anything that's going after her, a catcalling for some reason. Remember that when we had individuals trying to challenge her for a debate, and she was saying that they were catcalling her because they were challenging her to a debate, and she didn't want to debate them after saying the conservatives were scared to debate her. So then she got challenged, and then she said that they were just catcalling. So I wouldn't want to be accused of something like that if I was trying to take a picture of AOC and something dumb that she was doing. So I would have come up, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, AOC, I love you so much. And then you try and be like, can I get a selfie with you? And then you bend down at their table and take a selfie with the big burger in the background while her and her staff member are eating a burger. And see, that would be the appropriate way to do it, I would think. I don't know. But hypocrisy? At all? Going once? Going twice? No? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you saw or not, too, but Rolling Stone magazine did have her and Nancy Pelosi and Tlaib and somebody else, I forget, one of the new congresswomen, the 4 progressive socialist congresswomen in the House, as the head of Rolling Stone, as the generation of the future. To me, that just scares me a little bit, because that future is dead and gone and shouldn't be anywhere near existence, because that is a very, very, very scary thought. 316-721-8255 on the ABC Recycling Hotlines. Let's go to the phones here. Phones are lit up, baby, and I love it. What's on your mind this morning? Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, morning, Andy.
Hey, what's going on, sir? How we doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Nice and early for you.
Oh, yeah, it is. Woke up actually 5:15 or something like that.
Why would you do
I'm
that?
Up early.
There you go.
Well, I slept really good.
That's
I
a
even
good
had
thing.
a nap yesterday. A
Hey.
2.5-hour nap yesterday afternoon, and slept real good last night. So
That's really good. I got to
Anyway.
say, waking up so early for me, I don't sleep the best because I'm always so paranoid I'm going to sleep through an alarm, and I have like 4 alarms set every morning, so that way I make sure I don't miss anything. But last night, I slept all the way through the night. I didn't wake up once, and I woke up naturally this morning. I woke up like 2 minutes before my alarm went off, and I was like, oh, cool, I got 2 minutes to go back to sleep. And then I dozed back off, and the alarm went off, and then I was like, oh, now I'm tired again. So I probably shouldn't have done that, but, hey, that's what I do.
Well, I used to be able to wake up, automatically without an alarm clock, but that's another story. Anyway, moving real fast this morning, so now you've given me 3 items I need to comment on.
There you go.
Item number one. Is Donald Trump's hair constitutional? I think the Democrats should investigate.
Great point.
Number
New committee
2.
opening, yes.
Yeah, number 2. Speaking of restaurants, me and one of my buddies was having breakfast yesterday morning at the River City Cafe, and his wife was up in the hospital downtown at St. Francis, pregnant. She had difficult pregnancy. Is pregnant with a baby girl, and she'd been going in and out of labor for 24 or 48 hours, something like that.
Okay.
So we're having breakfast and talking about this, and get a phone call from the hospital. He gets a phone call. His wife just had the baby, just suddenly, just like that.
Wow.
So we rush to the hospital, okay, and we meet the doctor at the maternity ward, and we walk in there and everything, and my friend, he walks up to the first incubator, and so we go look in there, and, oh, man, dude, this poor baby doesn't have any arms. And I thought,
no.
oh, man.
Oh.
Yeah, you see that on these these commercials for Shriners Hospitals for children, it's unfortunately some kids are born that way. So he says, Doc, is this my baby? And the doc says, no, I'm sorry, it's not your baby. So we go up to the next incubator and look in there. Oh, man, this poor little girl, she ain't got no arms or legs.
Uh-oh.
And, oh, man, and my friend, he asked the doc, said, Doc, is this my baby? He says, nope, afraid not. So we walk up to the third incubator and look in there, and, oh, man, dude, I can't believe this. I didn't even know this was possible.
Okay.
It was just a head laying on a pillow.
Wow.
And my friend goes, Doc, is this my baby? And the doctor goes, no, sir, it's afraid that's not your baby. So he goes, oh, thank God, and we walk up to the last incubator, and I swear, man, I couldn't believe what I saw. I thought, is God trying to be funny? Because if he is, this isn't funny. It's just an eyeball lying on a pillow. And my friend, he goes, Doc, is this my baby? And the doc goes, yes, sir, that's your baby. And he just buries his face in his hands. He starts crying. Oh, my God, this is terrible. It couldn't get any worse than this. And the doc says, well, sir, I'm afraid it is worse. It's blind.
Wow. There you go. There you go. Story time with Sean. That's a good time right there.
Hey, if everybody loves your show, you're doing something wrong. So anything I can do to get people out there to give you a thumbs down.
There you go. That's a good day right there. I love it. Sean, hey, I appreciate it, my friend. Happy Friday to you. Have a great weekend. Well, that's true. Hey, you know what? You can't win them all. Can't win them all. That's all right. Look, I'm okay with it. I just find it kind of interesting. And it took this long. It took this long for the hater. Now, of course, there's been some. They like to troll with emails and troll with phone calls. So there's been some trolls. But for someone to be like, no, evil, terrible race fear-mongerer and misogynist, and I don't even know how you come up with that conclusion. But cool. Whatever. That's, why at the same time saying I was looking for real conservative values. Okay. Back to the phones here, shall we? Line number 2 on the ABC Recycling Hotlines. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. This is Bruce.
Bruce, good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Oh, doing all right. Hey, this whole Cortez deal with her in Congress and everything, I just don't understand how we can have people get into political office who don't have a single clue about our Constitution, Bill of Rights, or basic economics. Now, you go try to get a job as a CPA, you better have a degree in accounting. You want to go get a job in just corporate America, you better have a degree in something useful.
Sure.
Okay? You want to go work for the government, you got to have a degree in something useful. Well, just in something. Left-handed basketball even works for the government. But how is it we can have people in political office who just simply don't have a clue about basic economics, don't have a clue about our Bill of Rights? It boggles the mind.
Do you think we need to have maybe some kind of litmus test in order to actually qualify to run for office? I mean, I know it's a Congress of the people, by the people, and for the people, which is what it should be, and I'm really glad that we have that anybody has that opportunity to run for office and represent if that's what they choose to do. But I don't know, maybe there's a time where we have some type of litmus test to be like, look, if you're going to run, anybody can, but you at least have to have the basic knowledge of the history of our government and of our country and the idealism of our country and of our government in order for us to actually function reasonably, because we can't have someone in there doing stuff when they have no idea what the heck they're doing.
I don't think a litmus test per se, but just like you have pre-law or pre-med for people that want to go into those professions, maybe there should be a pre-politician degree. Or at least an education thing that you have to have completed maybe online or something that basically would train the individual in, like you say, the history of the country, the Bill of Rights, Constitution, basic economics, and how to balance a checkbook.
Or at least at the bare minimum, the understanding of the role of the position that you're actually running for. How about that?
Yeah, well, then you get a little too specialized. I'm thinking something general that, anybody and everybody could take. Otherwise, the person running for dog catcher is going to have a different test.
Sure. Sure.
But I mean, let's at least teach them to balance a checkbook so that, maybe they could balance the budget.
You know what we should do? We should have the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University be mandatory for anybody running for office. How about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be perfect. Hey, on a side note, have you heard of the Rubin Show on YouTube with Dave Rubin?
The name sounds familiar. I haven't watched it though.
Yeah, you might look it up. He was a former liberal, now libertarian. Was a comedian in New York City. Had a show. He was on the Young Turks.
Okay.
And kind of got run off of that, and because he was starting to lean to the right, I guess. But he has on guests like Dr. Jordan Peterson from Canada, who has written a book on 12 rules for leading a good life and raising good kids. That guy is fighting the Canadian government on their requirement, that making it a requirement in a criminal offense not to use somebody's proper gender pronoun that they prefer.
Okay.
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 So, in theory, if this law passes in Canada, you walk up to somebody and don't use their properly preferred gender pronoun, you can end up in jail.
Sure.
You know, well, I've never met them, so how do I know what it is in the first place? But never mind that.
Right.
But there goes your whole free speech concept. So he's been fighting that. He's actually quite the intellectual clinical psychologist, very intelligent man. He has on Ben Shapiro and just a number of people that Google software engineer that got fired for being a little bit too much to the right.
Sure.
And just all sorts of guests like that. And the funny thing is, it's not really funny, but it just goes to show you what the corporate world is doing. Is YouTube continuously demonetizes his videos to try to break him.
Sure.
To get rid of the right-leaning, perspective on things.
It's very true, and it's happening a lot. I mean, just for example, we have our YouTube live feed that we do every single day, and we're growing. We're getting a decent amount of people jumping on each day, but it seems to be only the people that actively go and look for it. It's not randomly popping up on a YouTube thing of like, oh, hey, this is an opportunity for someone to watch something live, and getting random people to view it, and whether it's an algorithm thing, whether we're just not big enough yet, I don't know. I'm still trying to learn the ropes on YouTube, but it's very fascinating how you're right. Conservative messages on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter and everything else, they are very difficult unless you actually actively, specifically go look to find them. You're not going to see them randomly pop up and be like, oh, hey, this is a content you might enjoy.
Right, because they're trying to silence the conservatives.
Sure.
He uses a program called Patreon, in which they answer questions from the community or from the people that watch it.
Sure.
And you pay in Patreon to donate to his show, and then that bumps you to the top of the list for asking a question. Interesting concept. He uses a couple things like that
Very
to
interesting.
make up for the YouTube thing. And they've also mentioned a couple different video channels that aren't quite as popular as YouTube that might be a little more
free,
friendly to the conservative. Yeah,
a little more free.
So I wanted to bring that to your attention and the attention of listeners. I've been listening a lot to different programs he's had on over the last couple of years, and it's very fascinating. He had to watch his progression to the right.
Sure.
He had on a Mr. Williams. I can't remember his first name. Is a conservative, a black man who is a conservative talk radio host, former lawyer in L.A. And he had him on, and Ruben says, well, what about the racism out there that's just institutionalized or whatever? And the guy just said, okay, show me examples. Where's your statistics?
Sure.
And he couldn't. And he finally made him realize that it's just a slogan. It's not real.
It's emotional.
So,
it's emotional. It's non-factual, and it's But then when they say it, just like we've seen as of lately with the hate speech censoring that's going on social media, with the trials that you can try and come in with a hate crime or sexual assaults or whatever, that when they get to set the dialogue and they get to set the definition of it without any evidence of, that's a very dangerous precedent to have, because then they can just say that anybody is a racist without any type of defense in any way, shape, or form. So, hey, appreciate the call, my friend, very much. So we got to run here, but happy Friday to you, and have a great weekend. We have some other calls on the line. Don't go anywhere. We got lots more time. We'll get to you as soon as we come back, as we're wrapping up hour number 1. We have our Pass It or Exit in hour number 2. We have some really cool stuff going on. I want to get to all your phone calls today. What's on your mind on a Free for All Friday right here on The Voice of Reason?
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Thursday finished mixed in the livestock, mostly lower in the grains and soybeans. Just couldn't seem to get much going for corn or soybeans. Kansas City wheat started the day well, but didn't necessarily finish that well. The early contract was up. March KC wheat up 2 1/4 at 441. May was down 1 at 444 1/2, and each of the later months was down. So not the best day for wheat all in all. March corn down 1 3/4 at 362. May down 3 at 370. 3/4. Later months were all in the red. March soybeans down 6 at 8.97.5. May beans down 6.5 at 9.10 1/4. Later months were similarly lower. The products were mixed. Meal was down. Bean oil was up a bit. March soybean meal was at 302.30, down 270. May was at 306, down 320. Later months were all in negative territory too. March soybean oil 16 points higher at 29.96. May bean oil was 13 points higher at 30.25. So all in all, kind of a tough day for soybeans. And corn finished lower. Kansas City wheat's early contract was up, but boy, that was about it. All in all, not all that positive for grains and soybeans. Livestock numbers were mixed. February live cattle finished up 55 at 129.95. April down 7 at 129.85. All the later months were lower. March feeders down $1 at 142.87. April feeder cattle down 107 at 146.15. So not much positive there. Hogs were the bright spot in the livestock complex. April hogs up 27 at 55.87. May hogs up a dime at 65.70. So all in all, pretty decent for hogs as we finished up on Thursday, but cattle had some struggles. Cotton was up. March cotton up 55 points at 71.74, while May cotton was up 46 points at 72.82. Market information from Mid-America Ag Network.
You've seen the hunger, the hustle, the victories, and the defeats. But one thing you'll never see, this team backing down. It's time to rise up. Be a part of the uprising on the K-State Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
K-State basketball on the Big Talker KQAM, brought to you by Shire Graphics, Toppers Plus, Champ Sports Bar and Grill, EMC Insurance, Ray Roofing, Pizza John's, and Davis Liquor Outlet.
Hello, cattlemen. This is Brady Larson with Larson Angus Ranch. I'd like to invite you to our 15th annual Carcass Without Compromise bull sale on our new sale date of Thursday, March the 7th. We're selling a great set of bulls this year, sired by the leading AI sires Payweight, Stud, Rampage, Surefire, Confidence Plus, and more. Call for a catalog at 785-891-3748 or go to LarsonAngusRanch.com to get an online view of the catalog. I look forward to seeing you at the ranch, 14 miles south of Wallace, Kansas, on March the 7th.
For decades, white planters have earned a reputation for boosting yields and profits. Now they've taken a quantum leap forward with the addition of precision planting, world-renowned technology. This is Leroy, the tractor man from Schmidt & Sons. Did you know that precision planting technology is fully integrated into your equipment straight from the factory? Right now, you can demo the 9800 VE Series planter, which takes the trusted systems white planters have used for years and combines them with precision planting innovations for an even higher level of performance. It's all designed to give you more speed so you can plant faster while still getting the seed exactly where it needs to be. More accuracy, one seed per space, and seed spacing consistent across the entire width of the planter, and higher yields with real-time data to help you make better decisions. White planters and precision planting. We've combined two proven brands into one fantastic value. Find out more at Schmidt & Sons, your white planter dealer, located in Mount Hope and Winfield, or check us out on the web at schmidtinc.com.
The Laundry Station in Wichita is Kansas' premier laundry services provider. The Laundry Station has machines for all of your needs in the Wichita area. In fact, the largest machine can handle 10 loads at a time. And for those of you who are not do-it-yourselfers, the Laundry Station's premium wash, dry, fold service allows you to drop off and pick up your laundry the same day in most cases. Conveniently located in the heart of Wichita, on Oliver at Kellogg. The Laundry Station, and online at thelaundrystationks.com.
The Dana Show, live after Mike Gallagher, right here on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM, KQAM.
I don't know if you're aware or not, but St. Patrick's Day is officially 2 weeks away, so shall begin and commence the St. Patrick's Day music and celebration here on The Voice of Reason, as it is like the biggest holiday, the greatest holiday of the entire year, and I'm really excited for that one. 316-721-8255 this half hour. The broadcast brought to you by Lamar's Donuts and Coffee Shop. Be a rock star today on your way to work. Make sure to pick up your dozen donuts from Lamar's. It's a great way to start each and every morning. They do have 3 locations in the area, one just south of Rock and K96, one at Tyler and Mays, the other at Harry on the east side of Hillside. Try them. You'll definitely like them. It's Lamar's Donuts and Coffee Shop, online at lamars.com. When we come back in hour number 2, it is March 1st, so I am excited because usually I begin our St. Patrick's Day celebration in like middle to early February. I've held off. I've put it at bay, but it's March 1st now, so the gloves are off. It's all good now. When we come back, we have some statewide issues. We have our legislative update. We have some things to chat about, plus our pass it or exit from the week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Congressman Roger Marshall at 8 a.m. today as well. Your phone calls when we come back. This is your show, baby. It's the Voice of Reason, hour number 2, right around the corner. Stay here.
Hi, this is Brian Davis.
And this is Blake Davis.
Check out our everyday low prices on Bud and Bud Light 12-pack bottles
for just $10.99.
And don't forget to stop in Tuesdays for 10% off all beer cases.
Special pricing not available at 31st and Meridian.
Davis Liquor Outlet.
Each store independently owned and operated.
Coming spring 2019.
Hail.
Ouch.
Oh. Wind. Freezing temperatures. Tornadoes. That's mayhem.
Hi, I'm Mark Collier, your local Allstate agent. We're your insurance agency interested in doing what's best for you. Before mayhem strikes, call us at our Goddard office, 316-413-4014, and find us on Facebook at Collier Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Hi, I'm Blake Davis with Davis Liquor Outlet. Check out our special price of just $10.99 on Coors Light and Miller Lite 12-pack bottles.
And don't forget Tuesdays, 10% off full beer cases.
Special pricing excludes 31st and Meridian location.
We are Davis Liquor Outlet.
Each store independently owned and operated.
This is a Steckline communication station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by MJ's Truck Repair of Mound Ridge, Kansas. Sales and service of the big rigs and trailers, plus ag diesel equipment repair on and off the farm.
Good Friday morning. Sedgwick County Commissioner Michael O'Donnell, accused of fraudulently taking more than $10,000 from campaign funds for his personal use, has told jurors in his federal trial it's offensive and outrageous to him that anyone would assume he would steal money. O'Donnell took the stand yesterday to defend himself in his federal trial on 23 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts of money laundering related to his state and county campaigns. O'Donnell testified he is not rich but would never steal money. On the stand yesterday, O'Donnell detailed his payments to staffers and other supporters that the defense portrayed as legitimate campaign expenses. He said his Senate campaign owes him $3,400 for unreimbursed mileage that he could pay himself from the campaign funds. Wichita police have arrested a second man in connection to a murder that happened in the parking lot of Genesis Health Club on 13th Street near West, where they found 22-year-old Lorenzo Wade with multiple gunshot wounds. The incident happened back on February 6th. Wade died at the scene. Wednesday, police arrested 20-year-old Ashantis Bledsoe on suspicion of first-degree murder. On Tuesday, they arrested 25-year-old Tanner Mora in the case. Police believe drugs may have played a part in the crime. And the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for south central Kansas for a system that could bring potentially heavy snow Saturday night through Sunday morning. Forecasters calling for 3 to 6 inches of snowfall possible. Cake TV meteorologist Frank Waugh has this advice for today's temperatures in the 40s.
Enjoy it. This is about as warm as we're going to get for about a week's time. Low to mid-20s by morning, a dry night, but then things start to change Saturday night into Sunday. That's when we see snow arriving. 10 degrees going to be the morning low, and we'll see a high on Sunday of 14 in the afternoon.
In like a lion. Welcome to March. I'm Rick Everett, now sports.
As time expired last night, Samaje Haynes-Jones jumper lifted the Wichita State men's basketball team to a 65-63 win over the Yukon Huskies. The victory was the 300th at Wichita State for head coach Greg Marshall in his 12th season. Samaje Haynes-Jones, the senior on the team, was excited he could do that for his basketball team.
It's just amazing, just the whole feeling, just the crowd being all in it, and my teammates, having trusted me to make that shot.
Next up, the Shockers are on the road at SMU Sunday at 1 p.m. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
This is Phil Martinez from Phil's Coins. It's sad when it happens, but there are still businesses out there that will try the old bait and switch. They'll promise you one thing to get you in and then deliver far less, or something totally different once you're there. At Phil's Coins, when we say we buy, sell, and trade with honesty and integrity, that's exactly what we mean. In fact, I encourage you to shop the competition first. It will make doing business with Phil's Coins like a walk in the park. Phil's Coins, 9344 West Central.
Joe and the guys at Carl's Goodyear, well, they are nice guys. That's the only way to describe them. Need new tires? Got you covered. Flat tire fixed? Done. Tune-up? Oil change? Brakes? Exhaust? Radiator? You get the idea. They do almost everything for your vehicle. They will also give you a ride when your car is in the shop. Nice guys who know auto repair, but above that, they know people and treat them like they would want to be treated. Carl's Goodyear, right on the corner of Market and Waterman, 264-5385.
When you want the best in hand-breaded, made-to-order chicken tenders, you need the Chicken Shack. And more. Oh, yeah, there's more. Fried catfish, gator, shrimp, and crawfish, and the price is just right with the $6 lunch special from 11 to 5. That's a po' boy combo with or without bread, your choice of shrimp, fish, or tenders with one sauce, fries, drink, and a cookie. Oh, yeah, we'll see you at the Chicken Shack. And more. North at 13th and Meridian and south at 31st and Seneca. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. That's good chicken and more. Online at thechickenshack.com.
The latest news from the Big Talker, KQAM.
A gesture of peace about to take place at the border between increasingly tense India and Pakistan as Pakistani officers have brought the Indian pilot captured from a downed plane there, planning to hand him over to India. The New York Times reports President Trump ordered his then Chief of Staff John Kelly to grant Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner a top-secret security clearance after intelligence agencies rejected his application. Correspondent Shimon Prokopesh tells us that's not what the White House said at the time.
When Jared Kushner when it was announced and his lawyers came out and they said, oh, he's getting his security clearance, they try to act as if they went through the normal channels, and this was given to Jared Kushner after an extensive background check, and then the FBI and the CIA all kind of signed off on this. And then obviously now we learned that that just wasn't the case.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee is adding his name to the growing 2020 Democratic presidential field, making it official later today in Seattle. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Maximum Outdoor Equipment. All equipment outdoors, from lawnmowers to snowblowers. Just south of Kellogg on West Street. And online at MaximumOutdoor.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, mostly sunny, high around 47, mostly cloudy and 22 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of only 35. Snow in the forecast Saturday night could be heavy at times with blustery conditions, a low around 11. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:06, it's currently 27 degrees.
Hi, it's Mark Walters with Armed American Radio. Join me tonight at 8, right here on the Big Talker KQAM. Now, back to the voice of reason with my great friend Andy Hoosier.
It's time for Reason.
You have a public utility company. You can choose to buy into it. It's offering you a service. It's not guaranteed. It's not mandatory. It's not forced upon you. Remember, if you don't pay your electric bill, your electricity gets shut off. It's very simple. If you have a vacant home, it gets shut off. It's not a mandatory, forced upon you type of tyranny that is a public utility company. So why would they have the ability to charge someone at a higher rate to say you need to pay your fair share to offset the cost for other people?
This is the voice of reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, welcome into the Voice of Reason, hour number 2 of the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are simulcasting and rocking it on TV. We are streaming on YouTube Live as well. Go to youtube.com, find KQAM Radio. We got a good amount of people jumping on there this morning. Go and subscribe. We are 3 people away from 100 subscribers on our YouTube page, which is really super awesome. So we appreciate that very, very much. A lot of people jumping on and checking us out each and every morning there as you get ready for work. You can do it on your phone, on your laptop, on your computer, whether you're at home getting ready or whether you're at the office already. Doesn't matter. Go on, watch us live each and every day. Watch all the podcasts, all that good jazz right here on The Voice of Reason. It is a Friday. Come on. That means today it's a free-for-all Friday. You can talk about anything that you want to. We have a lot of topics to get to and our Pass It or Axe It. But hey, what else is on your mind? What's bothering you today? 3 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. If you want to join into the program, I'd love to hear from you on the ABC Recycling Hotlines. This half hour of the broadcast is brought to you by Countryside Motors. They have the complete service and parts department for your Polaris and Hustler equipment. They have full service, complete full service opportunities for your Polaris, Hustler, Chevy, Buick, doesn't really matter. Make sure to check them out. Big savings. Check out just even purchasing Buick and Chevy cars and trucks, along with the Polaris, Hustler, and Turf equipment. Countryside Motors, just down south. And by the way, speaking of Countryside Motors, they have a really, really cool thing that they may be working on soon that we may be partnering up with here on KQAM. It's going to be awesome. Like, if you're politically minded, if you're a pro-Donald Trump person, you may really like this. So we'll talk about that coming up soon as a little teaser. But it's really cool. Countryside Motors, go check them out just south of Wichita, down in Wellington, Kansas, or online at countrysidemotors.net. Again, countrysidemotors.net. 316-721-8255. We got some calls on the line. Real quickly, though, let's get into a Kansas update.
Today in Kansas.
All right, I'm ready.
There is a continued beef and a bickering between women in the state legislature and the governor. And it's actually kind of interesting as Senate President Susan Wagle has declared war, essentially, on Governor Laura Kelly. And as the Republican and the Democrat are going head-to-head and going back and forth, there is a story, according to the Topeka Capital Journal, that Senate President Susan Wagle says the legislature will win in the battles. And as you know, there may be the very first veto of the year by Governor Laura Kelly coming up soon when it comes to the idea of giving your money back, the Trump tax windfall, back to the people and to the payments of capers. $115 million payment to capers. And as Governor Laura Kelly says, yeah, we need to be on the same track. We need to be fiscally conservative. We need to be fiscally responsible. We need to pay our bills. She would veto a payment that we missed 2 years ago to make up that payment for $115 million into capers. She doesn't like that because that's not where she wants the money to go. It's like you having a missed credit card payment from like 2-3 months ago. So you're paying your bills now, but you're always 1 month behind on your credit card payment. So then you get a little extra money. You get your tax return back. And you're like, all right, what do I do with this money? You could either A, pay the debt in order to compensate to get yourself caught back up because that's the responsible thing to do, or B, go and buy a new car. You know, one or the other. One or the other. You can choose it, or, you know, if you actually do it responsibly, you can do both responsibly. That's what we're up against right now. Don't make a payment to capers. You may have missed it 2 years ago. It's okay, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We'll continue to expand our spending. We'll continue to just go out and blow it. We'll go out and we'll just go on a spending spree and we'll just have some fun, baby, and do our thing. And woohoo! That's what I'm talking about. So that's what we're up against. And we have Senate President Susan Wagle that says we are the legislature. We are more conservative in the legislature. We're more Republican in the legislature. We will win this battle at the end of the day. And if you veto it, then we have a really good chance, actually, of actually overriding your veto because even Democrats did support this bill to some degree. But Laura Kelly saying that she's going to veto, and the Democrats losing their minds. Senator Anthony Hensley has tweeted out and made the statement, quote, because Republican voters decided to cross over and give her the opportunity to lead, meaning Laura Kelly, Senate President Susan Wagle and others have had their opportunity, and they did a pretty poor job guiding the ship. Now, I'm not sure what Republicans switched over and decided to cross over and give her the opportunity to lead. Of course, they're probably mentioning the 5 or 6 or 7 Republican elected officials that ended up switching over to support Governor Collier over Chris Kobach in the election, one of them being like Barbara Bollier, the state senator from the 7th District, that did a retweet on the Kansas Democrat Twitter page that had that statement with the story and the comment from Anthony Hensley. And as she was one of those big stories where she was the Republican that flipped over to become a registered Democrat, and she supported Laura Kelly in the election because the Republicans have been too extreme and because Chris Kobach was a nut and yada, 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 that she's now a Democrat. Now she's tweeting the Kansas Democrat pages of saying that the Republican voters decided to cross over and give her an opportunity. I don't know that we crossed over and gave her an opportunity. I think that just many Republicans just didn't show up to vote for Chris Kobach for whatever reason. But, again, let's remind voters she won 9 counties. We have, 99 counties in the state. She won 9 counties. That does not mean that every voter, like, oh, just give the Democrat a chance here. Let's see what's going on. No, that means that she was able to win the heavily populated areas of the state in order to swing the vote in her direction. That's all that means. That there was a big voter turnout for Democrats, that there was a lack of enthusiasm for Chris Kobach, and that's about sums it up. That's it. But the legislature that has smaller districts with more transparency and more of a vision of what the actual districts want went farther to the right by a large stretch. So tell me which one has more transparency and which one is actually going to lead. So I'm very interested and curious on where the Democrats get off saying, well, you know, she is God now. She is the superhero for the state of Kansas. And therefore, because we chose her to lead, then we better just follow her lead and we better just go along with whatever she wants. And don't you dare try to obstruct it, because then you're not having new ideas. You're just blocking someone who we chose to lead us into a new direction. That's the way they see it. And it's quite comical. On the front, and speaking of, by the way, Chris Kobach, there was a news story. They love to dig the knife in whenever they can with Chris Kobach. According to the Wichita Eagle, that the White House apparently is not too keen on getting Chris Kobach either into the Senate race for the 2020 race here in Kansas or selecting him for a cabinet seat. So it doesn't sound like he may be jumping into that race, or he may not even be going to the White House. I said that I was thinking that maybe he might have an opportunity to go to the White House and be a cabinet member, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So the future of Chris Kobach going to be unknown. Who knows what he's going to do now? And it doesn't sound like he may even be jumping into the Senate race for the U.S. Senate seat here open in the state of Kansas. Let's go to the phones, get your thoughts. 316-721-8255. Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Eddie.
Good morning, Eddie. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Hey, what do you got, a Superman suit underneath your shirt or what? I noticed it's red.
Oh, it is red. Yes. No, I wore the red because the shirt's red, and I wore the shirt, which it looks like I'm Paul Lumberjack, but it's just really cold, and this is an insulated. This shirt is actually really insulated and thick, and I was like, you know what, that's perfect because I may be Irish and I may be a Viking, but I despise the cold, and I do not like this cold, so I need to wear really thick, warm clothing.
Oh, good. Hey, before I get in, be sure and play the Ireland's Call sometime. I love it. I love it.
It is in my rotation of Irish music, yes.
Beautiful. Say, something interesting, and it has to do with laws, passing laws, and et cetera like that.
Okay.
Andover, Kansas just received a new police dog, and it was on the news last night.
Was it a pit
Are
bull?
you aware that, pardon?
Was it a pit bull?
No. It was a German Shepherd. Are you aware that police dogs are no longer trained to sniff out marijuana because of anticipation of many communities passing marijuana bills saying no, they're going to legalize marijuana. So police dogs are no longer trained to sniff out marijuana.
That's funny. I was not aware of that. It's not surprising, but I was not aware of that. But they're already starting it. So they're already with the anticipation it's going to happen. Everybody's doing it anyways, so let's just not train the dog, or else the dog will be going nuts every time it walks down the street.
That's right.
Yeah. Not surprising. It's sad because it is still illegal at this point, but, hey, I guess, teach the dog. And I guess in hindsight, that's a good thing to train the dog on the appropriate things to really bust somebody for of harder drugs and for bigger issues. So I guess you utilize the dog for more important issues than something like that, but that is kind of funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Andy, you just have the most beautiful day, and you just keep. Hey, don't worry about somebody giving you a thumbs down.
Hey,
you don't want just people that you don't want people that just agree with you. You want to build your audience.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely, you want a few stone throwers out there. Make it interesting.
I love it. That's what I'm saying. No, that's good stuff, Eddie. I appreciate it. Hey, happy Friday to you, my friend. Have a great weekend. No, I love it. I love the fact that people, oh my gosh. Got to have the haters, man. Got to have it. It is time for our weekly update with our Pass It or Exit of the Week.
I'm in a nightmare hallucination.
It's time to pass it or exit.
There it is, our Pass It or Exit, as it is every week, brought to you by the Spectacle Shop, KRSpecs.com. You can visit them at 306 North Rock Road, Kenton Roxy's Spectacle Shop. We appreciate them partnering up with us on this every week. Here's how the game's played. We do it every single week, is that you are the voter, you are the elected official, you are the person with the voice. We come up with a topic every week, the hot topic button issue of the week, and you get to choose whether you want to pass it or exit, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, and we'll get our online poll up and going during the break as well. You can comment by calling in at 316-721-8255. You can shoot us a message on YouTube, on Facebook. You can email me, Andy at KQAMradio.com. However you want to do it, but let's play Pass It or Ax It of the week. And this one coming out of the Wichita Eagle, and kind of an interesting topic as we talk about safety, as we talk about the safety of our children, is Kansas schools now hold 16 drills a year as an emergency drills for either tornadoes or natural disasters or mass shootings or something of that sort. But is that too many? And now there's a bill in the state legislature to lower that to the Senate Bill 128 would require 9 drills a year instead of 18. Because as of right now, they have them close to every 10 school days. They have to do some sort of drill. They must hold at least 16 this academic year, including 9 crisis drills that help prepare students for active shooter and other threats. Very interesting. Some of them include going outside for the fire drill, huddle in a room or tuck your head under your arms for a tornado drill, hide away from a door and turn off the lights for a crisis drill. The Senate on Tuesday advanced the bill on a voice vote, and they'll continue to discuss this one. But do we hold too many drills for students? Is it distraction of school? Is it distraction in the classroom? A distraction of actually learning stuff? Or is it precious? And is it important for us to do that many drills to be prepared at any time for something that may happen? Pass it or ax it. Do you support the bill to lower the amount of drills that we have in school from 16 down to 9 in the school year? We'll get your phone calls on it when we come back here with our weekly Pass it or ax it right here on the Voice of Reason.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Mead. Good morning. Well, the stinking farm economy and China trade talks dominated 2 Capitol Hill hearings this week as USDA Secretary Sonny Perdue and U.S. Trade Ambassador Robert Lighthizer testified before key panels. Secretary Perdue left no doubt about the dire conditions in farm economy, with farm income down by half since 2013, capital off by 70%, debt rising quickly, and a world crop glut leaving little hope. Perdue said that all this is compounded by news that a long-awaited rule to allow year-round E15 sales might not be ready for the summer driving season. Perdue was pressed on the need to get farmers help quickly.
Our Farm Bill Implementation Group formally met on December the 20th and assigned them to responsible agencies and finalized timelines for implementation. We also have already begun and are getting stakeholder input on how best to implement the provisions.
Perdue took fire from key Democrats over administration plans to implement food stamp work reforms kept out of the Farm Bill. Longtime food stamp defender Jim McGovern threatened court action. Ohio Democrat Marcia Fudge says,
"You say you comply with it, but you turn around and try to promulgate a rule that is in direct conflict to something we just put in the bill last year."
Perdue hit back with quotes from former Democratic Presidents Bill Clinton and Franklin Roosevelt strongly backing welfare reform. And Secretary Perdue repeated earlier warnings if Democrats kill the new U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement.
I think it would be devastating, and I hope everyone and all 434 of your colleagues understand the threat it would be to the U.S. economy, especially the ag economy, if we don't ratify that. I hope that, frankly, everyone here, who I believe is well-intended, will put partisan politics aside to vote for the benefit of the country.
Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network.
Winners don't wait for chances. They take them, seizing opportunities that come their way, having the courage necessary to make the game-winning play when it's all on the line. It's what sets us apart from the rest. Your home for K-State Wildcat basketball is right here on the K-State Sports Network.
Your number 23 Kansas State Wildcats take on Baylor on Saturday. Tip-off at 7 p.m., pregame at 6 p.m. right here on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Ag producer, get a jump on spring equipment efficiency now in your downtime with MJ's Truck Repair of Mound Ridge. Now's the time for farm machinery downtime maintenance and diagnostic services. So when the crops are ready to go into the fields, you're ready to get going. With diesel engines our specialty, MJ's also takes pride in superior gas engine repair and custom work on all implements. MJ's Truck Repair, under the big American flag off I-135 in Mound Ridge.
El Dorado Livestock Auction, 2.5 miles east of El Dorado on Highway 54. Pipe cattle pens with a capacity to hold 5,000 head of cattle. Covered pens to hold 3,500 to 4,000 head. There's a fully modern vet barn and a fully computerized sale program for fast and accurate settlement. The sales ring, comfortable stadium seating in a climate-controlled arena, and new scales. The sale order on sale day, stock cows and bulls, followed by calves, then feeder cattle, then butcher cows and bulls. The goal at El Dorado Livestock Auction is to get the highest possible price for the producer by bringing in the best possible buyers. The auction barn staff provides a friendly, personal relationship with each customer. The staff gets to know the customer and his or her individual needs, and then they meet those needs with an honest, full-value approach that serves both buyer and seller. El Dorado Livestock Auction, a sale every Thursday at 11 a.m. El Dorado Livestock Auction, 2.5 miles east of El Dorado on Highway 54.
Waring and Fiegel Optometry at 2121 North Tyler, number 302, has a selection of prescription sun eyewear that's so bright everyone can be wearing shades. Waring and Fiegel Optometry has the names in sun eye apparel that people seek. Prescription eyewear from Maui Jim, Oakley, Wiley X, Rudy Project, and even sunglasses from Amphibia. Squinting in this beautiful sunshine doesn't have to be a thing. What are you wearing? Waring and Fiegel Optometry, 21st in Tyler.
Call the Voice of Reason now on the ABC Recycling phone lines at 721-8255. This is The Big Talker, KQAM.
Minutes past the hour. Speaking of this band, Shinedown, they'll be in Intrust Bank Arena here relatively soon. We have a pair of tickets we'll be giving away for that soon. Metallica, we have 2 pair of tickets we'll give away today because the concert's on Monday, and I have 2 pair of tickets sitting here in studio left. So we'll do one at the end of this hour, the one at the end of next hour as well. Stay tuned in for that, but I'm excited for the Shinedown concert as well. Good stuff coming to Wichita, let me tell you. 316-721-8255. It's time for our Pass It or Axe It.
I'm in a nightmare hallucination.
It's time to pass it or axe it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, we've already had some votes come on to the online poll that we have on Facebook. Here it is. Should Kansas lower the number of school drills, fire drills, tornado drills, shooter drills from 16 per school year to 9, as they're talking about in the state Senate as of right now? Senate Bill number 128 would require 9 drills a year, 4 for fire, 3 for crisis, and 2 for tornadoes. Now, I have already some of the polls coming in saying, no, don't lower it. We like the amount that we currently have. And it goes both ways. You can either say, yeah, you know what, it's a distraction to the actual teaching and classing. There are better ways to prepare ourselves for these things because, kids, especially younger kids, they may just kind of be a little chaotic if they're smoking actually something serious anyways, and they forget about their training. On the other hand, if you do it enough times, there's that muscle memory to where they will remember to do it the appropriate way, and we can save as many students if something happens as we possibly can. So I leave it up to you. Should we lower the number of drills that we do per school year, or should we keep it at a relatively high amount? Let's go to the phones. 316-721-8255. Line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
Doug.
Doug, good morning, sir. How we doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Before I cast my vote, though, I want to know, with the district I live in, am I going to get some extra electoral votes for my district? And can I identify as the person that I want on the registry thing there for voting?
You can self-identify as anybody that you want to. I mean, you can self-identify as any name or gender or anything that you so choose today, because you know what? It's a wackadoodle Friday. So hey, you know what? I'm
gonna axe it, because we don't need to traumatize our kids anymore than we already are. They know how to get out when getting out is time getting out, But I'm going to identify as Martian.
All right, well, you can identify as a Martian. So wait, so you want to exit, as in you want to keep the number that we currently have of the number of drills?
No, I want to lower it.
You want to lower? Okay, so you want to pass it then.
I want to pass it.
You want to pass that bill that says that we want to lower it from 16 down to 9. So you want less of them, saying that we don't need them.
I want to know how many electoral votes I'm going to get along with that, too.
You know what? Well, hey, we'll use the Hillary Clinton process here. We'll give you 5 or 6 different electoral votes. You're all good. It's all right. We got you.
Thank you, Andy.
Doug, I appreciate it. Happy Friday to you. All right, so we got right now an even tie of 3-3, passing it and axing it for this one. Let's go back to the phones here. Line at number 2. Good morning. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, good morning. How we doing?
I'm great. I'm a teacher in Wichita on the way to school, and I say we don't need all of those. So there you have it.
Okay, so you'd want to pass. You'd want a little bit less. Is it a little bit of a distraction doing that many drills? What is it, like every 10 or 11 school days you guys have to do another drill? Does that get a little annoying after a while when you're actually trying to teach stuff?
Yes, it's very annoying, and it doesn't just affect that time limit. It affects afterwards. And when you're in a big school, it takes, 20 minutes for 2,000 kids to get back to class.
Sure.
And then you have to get everybody refocused. And high school, we pretty much know what to do. We don't need that many drills.
Interesting. All right. Cool. Very good. I appreciate the phone call very much, and have a great day in the classroom. And thank you for what you do being a teacher each and every day. We do appreciate that very much. There you go from the teachers. No, you know what? We have way too many. We're trying to actually teach here. You got to get the kids organized. You got to get them down there. You got to do the thing. You got to get them back. And then by that time, the kids are already chatting and having a good time, and they've forgotten all about class. Very interesting concept. We'll take some more phone calls when we come back. Bottom of the hour news. More coming up on the social media. More phone calls. More emails. All that on our Pass It or Axe It of the week. This is The Voice of Reason.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
President Trump said he walked away from that summit with Kim Jong-un because demands were made that North Korea wanted all sanctions lifted. That point being disputed by North Korea.
It is very unusual for North Korea to hold a news conference with the foreign press, but that just goes to show how misrepresented they felt their position was when President Trump took the podium. North Koreans saying they didn't want all the sanctions lifted, and they say they just wanted maybe 5 out of the 11.
Will Ripley in Hanoi. Numerous charges of improprieties have been levied against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
The Attorney General, a Netanyahu appointee, said he intends to indict the Prime Minister on bribery and breach of trust. In this case, investigators say Netanyahu gave regulatory benefits worth some $300 million to his friend, a wealthy businessman. In exchange, investigators say Netanyahu received favorable coverage in a news site owned by that businessman.
There's Oren Lieberman, Netanyahu's chief challenger in upcoming elections. Benny Gantz is calling on the Israeli Prime Minister to resign. I'm John Trout.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-445-6363. That's 800-445-6363. 800-445-6363. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Friday. State prosecutors seeking a retrial after a jury could not reach a verdict on one charge against a 37-year-old Manhattan man charged with trying to kill 3 law enforcement officers. Prosecutors say Mark Harrison fired 33 shots during a standoff with police back in January. The Manhattan Mercury reports a Riley County jury could not reach a unanimous decision yesterday on an attempted capital murder charge involving the shooting of Riley County Police Sergeant Pat Teedy, who was hit in the leg. A former Kansas legislator and current Sedgwick County Commissioner accused of fraudulently taking more than $10,000 from campaign funds for his own personal use has told jurors it's offensive and outrageous to him that anyone would assume he would steal money. Michael O'Donnell took the stand in federal court at Wichita yesterday in his own defense. That trial was expected to wrap up today. Mid-America Network News.
Send your taste buds on an exciting flavor vacation at Hurricane Sports Grill. Indulge in Hurricane's made-to-order jumbo chicken wings with 35 fabulous sauces from our sauce bar, half-pound burgers, and savory tacos. With 20 beers on tap, including local crafts or your choice of Hurricane specialty cocktails, come and enjoy your favorite sport on any of our 30 TVs or call ahead for carry-out game day platters. Don't forget Hurricane's daily specials, including Monday's all-you-can-eat chicken wings. Hurricane Sports Grill, a fun-filled, family-friendly environment at 13th and Tyler.
Don't miss more ways to save on a new Bobcat compact track loader at White Star Machinery. Choose a cash rebate up to $10,000 or take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months with no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Put built tough priced right Bobcat equipment to work and get peace of mind with our 2-year, $2,000 full warranty. Why wait? Start saving today. Check it out on our website, whitestarmachinery.com.
White Star, get the job done.
Hi ladies, it's Tiffany talking about my all-time favorite home decorating source, Jabara's Flooring Outlet. You've heard of Jabara's Flooring for years. They have the largest selection of carpet, tile, wood, and all your favorite floor coverings in the state. So what's new for 2019? Stop by Jabara's this month during their Live in Style Customer Appreciation Month and find out. Take it from me, ladies, a real shopper, someone who loves a great deal and super quality. See Jabara's for your new floors. Like they say, the smartest shoppers shop Jabara's. 17th and North Broadway, Wichita.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, mostly sunny, high around 47, mostly cloudy and 22 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of only 35. Snow in the forecast Saturday night could be heavy at times with blustery conditions, a low around 11. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:35, it's currently 27 degrees.
This segment of The Voice of Reason on KQAM brought to you by Riverside Cafe, home of the 3-pound burger and hand-cut fries, plus breakfast all day long. 2 Wichita locations and 824 North Baltimore in Derby. Riverside Cafe. Keeping it green.
We need a universal sense of urgency, and people are trying to introduce watered down proposals that are frankly going to kill us.
No thanks to the hippies.
Can you believe this? An SUV with a V8 engine makes me sick.
Happy St. Patty's Day from the Voice of Reason.
Oh, I love this time of year. Let me tell you, springtime's coming up. A little bit warmer weather hopefully is on the way. We have the green, we have the Irish, the St. Patrick's Day. Oh, it's a St. Patrick's Day already. Coming up in a couple of weeks, I am really excited about that. Welcome in, 316-721-721-TALK, 316-721-TALK. If you want to join into the ABC Recycling Hotlines, I want to hear from you coming up with our Pass It or Ax It of the day.
I'm in a nightmare hallucination.
It's time to pass it or ax it.
So the question of the day is, should we be lowering the number of school drills we have in the state of Kansas? As right now we currently have 16 per school year, and it averages out to roughly about 1 every 10 days or so, about a week and a half, 2 weeks, that we end up doing some type of drill between fire drills, tornado drills, and emergency drills in the schools. Everything from putting, and here's the question, do they really do anything? If we have a mass shooter situation in a school, does turning off the lights and sitting under our desk do anything? Does that drill even be efficient, or should we be looking at other ways to properly protect the students, as in training people to carry a firearm if they choose to do so, whether it's a faculty member, whether it's a teacher, somebody with a firearm that can actually do good and eliminate the threat, as opposed to doing a drill to teach us how to hide from the threat. I don't know if that necessarily is beneficial. Now, compared to other states, I'm trying to look to see how many other states actually have rigorous drills like this on a regular basis. The state of Washington, according to K12.wa.us for the state of Washington and their school districts, they have to have one. It's required to have at least one every month. That's not very many compared to what we're doing here in the state of Kansas. So are we a little excessive on this? And I mean tornadoes as well. I remember during my tornado drills when I was a kid that we would actually go down into the boiler rooms in the basement of the building. And this was in Ohio when I was a kid, and we would go down and we would sit in the boiler room. So we would be on the dirty concrete in the basement where it was dirty and it was rattling. And we only did that once or twice. I don't even remember doing drills for that. I just remember when we had one or two close cases of a potential tornado in the area that we would go down and we just sat down there for like 20 minutes. They're like, oh, okay, we're good. We can go back upstairs. That was it. I don't remember doing drills for that. The only drills that I remember doing as a kid were the fire drills. And I think we did maybe one or two a semester. That's it. That was it. And it was exciting because, just as the teacher had mentioned the last call before the bottom of the hour, was that was about the extent of it. And that would totally take your mind off of class. And you'd be really excited because you get to hang out with your friends and talk to them for a second as you walked down and you walked outside and you hung out and you started playing and you got distracted. And then they tell you to go back in. And then you try and take your time getting back in. And everybody would be chaos. And you go back in there. And then you totally lost the whole thought of what you were being taught, and then the teacher had to catch back up. So is it too much? Is it a distraction, or is it totally worth having that many drills with the number of fire drills, tornado drills, school mass shooting drills like that, or other better ways to prepare yourself for these situations? Or would it be different to maybe, you know what, maybe we're taking this a different approach? High school, you don't need to do that many because you remember it, and hopefully you're responsible enough to actually handle the situation appropriately in the time of a crisis, tornado, fire, or a mass shoot or something like that, as opposed to maybe the elementary schools where the only way you can teach the kids is that muscle memory and doing it frequently. Or maybe the opposite. I don't know. Your thoughts. 16 of them a year. Is it too excessive? Should we lower it down to 9 is what Senate Bill number 128 does, lowering it from 16 down to 9 per school year? Or do you like the number that we currently have? Let's get your thoughts on this. 316-721-8255. Line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Andy, it's Sean.
Sean, what's going on, sir? What do you think?
Hey, they need to pass this bill. I did not know the schools were having this many drills. That's not only excessive, it's absurd.
Okay.
These kids need to be focused on getting their education, not focused on what might happen to them, and there's a very low probability of that. Okay?
Does that create kind of an environment of fear as well?
Oh, yeah, that's just it, except the odds of something happening to them is going to be next to nothing in the great scheme of things. But look, we didn't have this crap when I was in high school at all.
Right.
And when I was in elementary school, I remember at the most 1 or 2 tornado drills and a couple of fire drills for the whole year.
Sure.
At the most I can remember from going back to 4th grade at Franklin Elementary. Okay, so yeah, I say pass the bill, and or somebody should get their butt kicked for this insanity.
For having that many. All right, Sean, I appreciate that very much. You're right. It is. It seems like a little excessive. I mean, you're right. I've never had a crisis drill before saying that there could potentially be a mass shooter. Now, there were shootings back then. I don't think nearly as frequently as now, but there were some. But 9 a year for crisis drills. And what do? You turn off the lights, you lock the door, and you sit under your desk. I don't know how you can train for that. Let me tell you, I mean, as many of you know, I was involved in a high school shooting my senior year of high school, and we never trained for a crisis shooter situation. You can't. If there's a school shooter, the only thing you can do is lock the door and ride it out. There's nothing else as a student that you can do. Now, are there better ways to prepare for that situation, as in having people being trained? Maybe the teachers training for what to do during that situation. Maybe individuals who choose to carry a firearm and want to be trained in the firearm training for a crisis situation in a school classroom and doing practice that way. Maybe there's drills that the teachers can do off the clock, or the faculty members can do on the weekend or off the clock. Maybe that's what you do instead of actually doing it with the students. Because the students don't, what do? You turn off the lights and lock the door and just ride it out. How do you train for that? And we handled it relatively appropriate, I think, in my school, and we never did any crisis training like that because the individual came into a classroom, fired off a round, and told all the boys to get out, and therefore we notified everybody, and they went on the intercom and said that we were in a whatever code it was. I think they said like a code white. And the teacher that we had, I was in the classroom directly below where it happened, and our teacher was like, we don't use a code white. What is that? But he started panicking. He's like, we don't use a code white. What is that? What are you talking about? Because they apparently said the wrong code or whatever. But he looked out the door, he looked out the hallway, and then he locked the door, and we sat there and we waited. And that's all we could do. That's it. There was nothing else. But every classroom did that. So I don't know why you need to do 9 different practices and drills for that throughout the year. To me, that's a little excessive. But your thoughts? Maybe we need to keep that. Maybe in today's world with how many potential shootings that we see in the country, maybe it's time that we focus more on that. We have more drills every day and day in and day out. Not to live in maybe it is living in paranoia, or maybe it's just being prepared with that muscle memory for children who go into panic mode when something happens and may make a dumb decision. Your thoughts, 316-721-8255. Line number 2, let's go back to it. Good morning, who's this?
Morning, brother. It's Joe.
Joe, good morning, sir. How are we doing?
I'm blessed, man.
Good.
Hey, for little kids, the grade school, I think 12 would be an awesome number, and I would split it between fire and tornado. I wouldn't do an active shooter because I think that would be just a little too much.
Okay.
But for high school, I could see 6 or 9, and I would split that up 3 ways. It'd be fire, tornado, and active shooter. That's the way I would split it up. You do 6 of them, you can do 3, 2 of each, or 3 of each, depending if you do 6 or 9 of them. But how many did you say you're doing now? 16 or 18 a year?
We're doing 16 a year right now, and they want to lower it down to 9. But you're saying that the younger kids should have more of them, not the shooter drills, but we should have more of them for the fire and tornado.
Fire and tornado,
okay.
Right. And then because little kids, they get very easily distracted. They need to know, like, I can still remember we would go down and in the old school that I was in, which was Finn, everybody went to the lower floor, which was a subfloor. It wasn't a basement because it was about 6 feet underground. But we all lined the halls down there and covered our heads and did that. And then fire, we went straight out to the playground area, and that's where we hung out. And we probably did 4 of those a year, maybe. I don't know. It didn't seem like we did very many of them.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand that. But little kids, I'm telling you, I think little kids need a few more. And as you're an adult kid, you're a semi-adult, you should have a basic understanding of where to put yourself during one of the 3 situations.
Interesting. All right, so more for the young kids and then less for the semi-adults as the high schoolers, middle schoolers, because they can get it down if you teach them once or twice to be like, hey, this is what you do, then they can pretty much remember that. So very interesting. All
exactly.
Right.
Have a great day, brother. Bye.
I love it, Joe. Appreciate the phone call very much. More for the young kids, not as many for the older kids. Is that something you agree with? And especially with the mass shooting drills, should we still continue to have as many of those as what we're doing? Again, 9 a year. I never did one. Never did those. I don't remember that. And I'm with you. I think I did maybe 1 or 2 fire drills a semester, so maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 a year. It wasn't very many, and that was the day where you were excited because you got to get out of like a half hour, 45 minutes worth of classwork, and you were really excited as a kid because they had to go down there, they had to do the head count to make sure everybody is out, they had to do the sweep of the building, then they had to let you back in, they had to get settled again, and it was like half the day that was just gone right there, and the teachers obviously very frustrated, and the kids felt like they got away with something. So, I don't know. Let's go back to it. Line number 3. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi, that's Bill.
Hey, good morning, Bill. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, on that bill, I would say change it up a little bit. Have a set amount that is required, whether it be 9, 5, who knows how many, but then leave it up to the individual district or school to have any additional ones as they see necessary. So that way you can custom tailor fit for the situation.
So do a mandatory that's less than what it is right now, but if they see, you know what, these didn't work very well and it's not the time frame that we'd like to see, we'd like to do better, then they can actually choose to do more additionally later on.
If they think they need them, exactly.
Okay. That's a really great point, Bill. I appreciate that very much. Happy weekend to you. Happy Friday. And try and stay warm out there. Line number 4, let's go to it. Good morning. Who's this?
Jordan.
Good morning, Jordan. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I grew up and graduated in 2013, so I had school before 9/11, after 9/11, before school shootings were big, and after.
Mm-hmm.
I think, honestly, once a month is the most we should do. Kids go out for a fire drill once a month, or a tornado drill, or a shooter drill. But we don't need 15 shooter drills a year. It's excessive, it's dumb, and all the high schoolers did was sit in a corner and gossip while the teacher screams at us to shut up.
Sure. Yeah, it wasn't as productive for the students on there, was it?
Not a bit. And honestly, all the teacher did was say, sit against the wall, like anybody who is a teenager would already know to do if
Sure.
somebody's trying to look in the room.
Very interesting. All right, Jordan, I appreciate that. So lower it down, maybe have just a couple of quarter, and that be about it because it is that distraction. On the Facebook side, we do have the poll up on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/1480KQAM. We have almost a middle-of-the-road pass at an exit on that one, so you can go in there and you can have your voice as well. We are relatively close. Right now, 10-8 on the vote for the passing it as of right now over the axing it, but just by a small margin. So very interesting on that one. I want to take a break here, but first it is time, and I think we need to have a little fun with it. It is our Metallica tickets. We do have 2 pair left. One of them right now. The tickets coming up for the show on Monday night. Metallica come to Interest Bank Arena. Tickets going to be at 7:30 for the show, 6:30 for doors, or 6 p.m. for the doors opening. Make sure to get out there. It's going to be a heck of a fun time. But Metallica, and we've been playing the game every time so far. Can you guess the name of the song from Metallica? If you guess it, right now at 316-721. 8255 316-721 talk you, my friend, get a pair of tickets to Metallica. What song is it with Metallica? I want to hear from you, baby. Come on, 316-721-8255. Let's let it roll, baby. Rock it out. The only conservative talk show in the country that can give away tickets to a metal show, which is why I absolutely love my listeners. Come on. Can you guess the name of the song? And we'll get you a pair of tickets to Metallica. Let's go to line number 1. Right now, the phones are lit up all across the board. Can you guess it? Good morning. What's your name?
Joe.
Joe, what's going on, brother? What's the name of the song?
Is it Sandman?
It is not Sandman. Ooh, but good guess, though. It's a close one. Hang on the line. If they can't guess it, we'll get back to you and give you another try. But let's go to line number 2. Good morning. What's your name?
Zach.
Zach, good morning, sir. What's going on?
Not too much. Is this for Whom the Bell Tolls?
For Whom the Bell Tolls. There it is, my friend. You got it. Right there. You got yourself a pair of tickets to Metallica from KQAM. Stay here. Stay on the line. We'll get your information here in just a second. But congratulations, my friend. It is going to be one heck of a show. Yeah, baby. For Whom the Bell Tolls. I love this. This is fantastic. We got one more pair of tickets we'll give away in the next hour. Don't miss that one. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Live cattle futures were steady to 35 cents lower on Thursday. February went off the board at $129.95. Feeder cattle futures steady to $1.07 in negative territory in the front months. The CME Feeder Cattle Index was down 52 cents February 27th at $139.94. Wholesale boxed beef prices higher Thursday afternoon. The Choice Select spread narrowing to $4.68. Choice boxes were up 49 cents at $219.95. Select were $2.48 higher at $215.27. USDA estimated federally inspected cattle slaughter at 469,000 head through Thursday. That's up 33,000 head from last week. Lean hog futures were steady to 30 cents higher on Thursday. The CME Lean Hog Index down 3 cents from the previous day at 52.82, February 26th. Pork carcass cutout value up 92 cents Thursday afternoon with a weighted average of 60.49. The National Base Hog carcass value down 56 cents with a weighted average price of 44.72. Week-to-date federally inspected hog slaughter estimated at 1.786 million head. Looking now at corn, soybeans, wheat. Corn futures are trading steady to fractionally higher to kick off Friday after ending Thursday with 1 3/4 to 3 cent losses. Soybean futures are 5 to 6 cents higher this morning on profit taking. They failed to move higher yesterday in spite of bullish export numbers, and wheat futures are all over the place. March contracts up as much as 3 cents. However, Chicago new crop contracts are down as much as 3 3/4. Looking at where we are right now, March corn is up 1/4 cent at 3.62 1/4. May is up 1/4 cent at 3.71 1/4. March Kansas City wheat is up 3 1/4 at 4.44 1/4, but May is down 2 3/4 at 4.41 3/4. Chicago wheat is up. Minneapolis wheat is down. And soybeans look good. March beans up 6 1/2 at 9.04. May beans up 6 at 9.16 1/4. Bean meal and bean oil also higher. Markets, Mid-America Ag Network.
The excitement of the Big 12 basketball tournament is coming to Kansas City, and Wichita's Big Talker, KQAM, along with Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, want to send you to the tournament. Stop by Hog Wild Pit Barbecue in Wichita, El Dorado, or Derby, and register to win your pair of tickets to the Big 12 tournament. The winner will be drawn March 8th. KU, K-State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. Whoever your favorite team is, you can be in the middle of all the action of the Big 12 basketball tournament. Stop by a Wichita, El Dorado, or Derby Hog Wild Pit Barbecue today with Wichita's Big Talker, 1480 AM, 102.5 FM, KQAM.
Myers Exterior Products.
I can feel that cold, windy old man winter blowing through my rotten windows. I can't go through another winter with these windows. Might as well move outside with this much cold air coming through my house.
Old windows can let out 10 to 25% of your heat during the winter. Call Doug at Myers Exterior Products to get your new energy-efficient windows installed today. Myers Exterior Products, the outside experts.
Call 944-1024. Call 944-1024.
It's an inventory reduction blowout sale at Derby Mattress. Sharon at Derby Mattress says the Serta models from last year have to go to make room for new inventory arriving soon. Drastic reductions in last year's Serta models and floor models that need to move. Derby Mattress at 105 South Baltimore in Derby, home of hassle-free mattress shopping, locally owned and family owned. Derby Mattress.
If you plant row crops, then now is the time to get signed up for crop insurance with P&B Insurance. Crop insurance is all they do. Ron and Dan Pilecki have years of experience, unlimited knowledge, and useful resources. They can help you determine what coverage is best for your farm. Insurance can never replace what a good crop will produce, but with today's prices and environment, you better insure with the best because nothing can afford to be lost. The deadline sign-up is March 15th. P&B Insurance in Wichita, 1-800-722-9525.
Breaking news and special reports all right here on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM, KQAM.
Is it too much? Is it too much? Not yet. Too early? No, it's not. Stop it. Stop that. Don't be saying it's too early for that. Welcome in 316-721-8255. We got one more pair of Metallica tickets we'll give away in hour number 3 right here on The Voice of Reason. You're finalizing up the pass it or exit of the day.
I'm in a nightmare hallucination.
It's time to pass it or exit.
And our pass it or exit always brought to you by the Spectacle Shop. KRSpecs.com is the website. Go ahead and visit them. Kent and Roxy Spectacle Shop at 306 North Rock Road. We love partnering with them each and every week with our pass it or exit. More coming in from email and online. Right now we're sitting at actually relatively close, and I haven't heard a lot of people say, at least calling in to talk about wanting more drills, but a lot of people voting, at least on social media and by email and Facebook, about wanting to keep the number of drills and Xing this bill. So right now we are passing it is the lead right now of 14-12, only a couple votes up, but I haven't heard on the air, and I'd love to hear why you want to keep the number of drills that we currently do and X the bill wanting to lower that amount. So I'd love to hear from you in the last few minutes of this hour. Let's go to the phones here. Line number 1. Oh, I guess we lost him. That's all right. Give me a call back. We want to hear from you. 316-721-8255. Very interesting with how close this one actually is with wanting to X the bill wanting to shorten the amount. Maybe we like it. Maybe we do like the idea of it's better to be prepared, not necessarily paranoia. That's what they always say the conservatives are, right? The conservatives, the doomsday preppers, the ones that like to actually stock food in the home or buy up ammunition because you never know what's going to happen. As it's not, we're not anticipating it. We're just prepared if it ever does, and we hope it never does. But if it does, then we're ready. And that's kind of that idea. So is that kind of the same mindset of the drills for like mass shooters? 9 a year right now in the state of Kansas is what we're having, and is that too much? Or is it, you know what, we can never be too prepared, and we could happen at any time? We've already had fake calls and false calls to some of our school districts in the area of a school shooter, and cops would show up, and fortunately there's not been a case of it yet, but we've had the threat of. We've had the online media of someone posting that they wanted to, and we went under lockdown, or we've had to shut down the school for the day, or we've just kept it in the back of our mind with people even threatening to do it. And that's very concerning. So with that mindset, is it appropriate to have that number of drills? But at the same time, what do you do with the drill? You turn off the light, you lock the door, and you sit there and you wait. And sometime, I mean, is that really the best way to go about it? So I'm very interested to get your thoughts on, is that a proper number of currently 9 drills for active shooter drills in our schools, a total of 16 drills total with fire and tornado and shooters, or do we need to lower it down? We'll wrap up here with the last couple calls and the last couple social media numbers, and we'll get your final tally here in just a second. But line number 1 at 316-721-8255. Should we lower? Should we pass it or exit lowering that number of drills each year? Let's go to it. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi, Andy. This is Jeff.
Jeff, good morning, sir. How we doing?
Good. Well, how does the number of drills compare to tornado and fire drills? Why would it be more or less?
Why would it be more?
I don't even know.
That's a good question. I mean, right now we do 9 crisis drills, along with, let's see if I can find the number again here. It was 9 active drills for the shooters, and then we had like 3 or 4 for the fire and for the tornado. So it was way more for the crisis drills than anything else, and that one kind of boggled my mind as well. I don't know if I understand that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If it's really that big of a problem and a threat that we perceive, then we need to allow the teachers to carry concealed firearms. It's the only solution that protects the children in the classroom.
That's very true. Hey, Jeff, I appreciate that very much, my friend. We'll get the final numbers when we come back. Hour number 3 plus Congressman Roger Marshall right after this.
Maximum Outdoor Equipment knows mowers inside and out, backwards and forwards, commercial, residential, all brands, all types. They also know trimmers, edgers, snow blowers, and most other types of outdoor power equipment. Maximum Outdoor has the know-how to work on them and the parts to fix them, even if it isn't a brand they sell. Now, if you need someone to repair your refrigerator or fix your plumbing, Maximum Outdoor Equipment doesn't do that. They're not one of those big box stores that sells lots of stuff but can't help you if something goes wrong. Maximum Outdoor is a small box store specializing in mowers and outdoor power equipment. If you have a lawnmower or some other piece of power equipment that needs tuning up or fixing, or you need parts so you can fix it yourself, they're the people to see, no matter what brand it is, even if you bought it at one of those big box stores. Maximum Outdoor Equipment. Give them a call at 943-0201 or stop in and see them just south of Kellogg on West Street and online at MaximumOutdoor.com.
Maximum service, maximum value, maximum outdoor equipment.
This is a Steckline Communications station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Phil's Coins, Kansas's largest coin dealer at 9344 West Central. Phil's Coins, buying, selling, and trading with honesty and integrity.
Good Friday morning. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for south central Kansas for a system that could bring potentially heavy snow Saturday night through Sunday morning. Forecasters calling for 3 to 6 inches of snowfall possible. Cake TV meteorologist Frank Waugh has this advice for today's temperatures in the 40s.
Enjoy it. This is about as warm as we're going to get for about a week's time. Low to mid-20s by morning, a dry night, but then things start to change Saturday night into Sunday. That's when we see snow arriving. 10 degrees going to be the morning low, and we'll see a high on Sunday of 14 in the afternoon.
Sedgwick County Commissioner Michael O'Donnell, accused of fraudulently taking more than $10,000 from campaign funds for his personal use, has told jurors in his federal trial it's offensive and outrageous to him that anyone would assume he would steal money. O'Donnell took the stand yesterday to defend himself in his federal trial on 23 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts of money laundering related to his state and county campaigns. O'Donnell testified he is not rich but would never steal money. On the stand yesterday, O'Donnell detailed his payments to staffers and other supporters that the defense portrayed as legitimate campaign expenses. He said his Senate campaign owes him $3,400 for unreimbursed mileage that he could pay himself from the campaign funds. Wichita police have arrested a second man in connection to a murder that happened in the parking lot of Genesis Health Club on 13th Street near West, where they found 22-year-old Lorenzo Wade with multiple gunshot wounds. The incident happened back on February 6th. Wade died at the scene. Wednesday, police arrested 20-year-old Ashantis Bledsoe on suspicion of first-degree murder. On Tuesday, they arrested 25-year-old Tanner Mora in the case. Police believe drugs may have played a part in the crime. I'm Rick Everett from the KQAM KGSO Newsroom, now with sports. Doug Downs.
As time expired last night, Samaje Haynes-Jones' jumper lifted the Wichita State men's basketball team to a 65-63 win over the Yukon Huskies. The victory was the 300th at Wichita State for head coach Greg Marshall in his 12th season. Samaje Haynes-Jones, the senior on the team, was excited he could do that for his basketball team.
It's just amazing, just the whole feeling, just the crowd being all in it, and my teammates, having trusted me to make that shot.
Next up, the Shockers are on the road at SMU Sunday at 1 p.m. From the Sports Desk, I'm Doug Downs.
The Laundry Station in Wichita is Kansas' premier laundry services provider. The Laundry Station has machines for all of your needs in the Wichita area. In fact, the largest machine can handle 10 loads at a time. Imagine a laundry facility where you don't need change. The Laundry Station accepts Apple Pay, debit cards, and credit cards, and your quarters as well. The Laundry Station is conveniently located in the heart of Wichita, on Oliver at Kellogg. The Laundry Station, and online at thelaundrystationks.com.
Crop producers, you know you can produce a higher crop yield while reducing the impact on valuable natural resources, including water supplies and soil, with the proper nutrition and management. Tyree Ag partners with AgroLiquid Fertilizers and Pioneer Seed with the goal of prospering the farmer while safeguarding the environment. Tyree Ag offers quality aerial and ground applications, precision ag services, and a broad selection of crop protection and biostimulant products serving South Central Kansas and Northwest Oklahoma. Visit Tyree Ag today at tyreeag.com.
If you can shoot the rock, then now is the time to sign up for the 3rd annual St. Catherine of Siena 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's great fun and all proceeds benefit the Parish Men's Club. The tournament will have 16 co-ed teams and all participants must be 18 years old and up. Women's points are an advantage, so get your team together now and get signed up at stcatherinewichita.com/3-on-3. The tournament is Saturday, March 23rd. Concessions will be available. It is free for spectators and the entry fee to play is $50 per team.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
President Trump said he walked away from that summit with Kim Jong-un because demands were made that North Korea wanted all sanctions lifted. That point being disputed by North Korea.
It is very unusual for North Korea to hold a news conference with the foreign press, but that just goes to show how misrepresented they felt their position was when President Trump took the podium. North Koreans saying they didn't want all the sanctions lifted, and they say they just wanted maybe 5 out of the 11.
Will Ripley in Hanoi. Numerous charges of improprieties have been levied against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
The Attorney General, a Netanyahu appointee, said he intends to indict the Prime Minister on bribery and breach of trust. In this case, investigators say Netanyahu gave regulatory benefits worth some $300 million to his friend, a wealthy businessman. In exchange, investigators say Netanyahu received favorable coverage in a news site owned by that businessman.
There's Oren Lieberman, Netanyahu's chief challenger in upcoming elections. Benny Gantz is calling on the Israeli Prime Minister to resign. I'm John Trout.
Your local weather on KQAM, brought to you by Jewelry Savers, conveniently located off K96 on Greenwich Road, the Kansas trusted jewelry source since 1971. Jewelry Savers.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, mostly sunny, high around 47, mostly cloudy and 22 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of only 35. Snow in the forecast Saturday night could be heavy at times with blustery conditions, a low around 11. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:06, it's currently 27 degrees.
Starting the political revolution. This is the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM, KQAM. It's time for Reason.
You have a public utility company. You can choose to buy into it. It's offering you a service. It's not guaranteed. It's not mandatory. It's not forced upon you. Remember, if you don't pay your electric bill, your electricity gets shut off. It's very simple. If you have a vacant home, it gets shut off. It's not a mandatory, forced upon you type of tyranny that is a public utility company. So why would they have the ability to charge someone at a higher rate to say you need to pay your fair share to offset the cost for other people?
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
When I get on my knees and pray.
That's what I'm talking about. Go on.
We don't get fooled again.
What a day. What a day. Welcome into the Voice Voice of Reason, hour number 3, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are simulcasting on TV as well. We are rocking it on streaming live on YouTube Live. Go to youtube.com, find KQAM Radio. Subscribe to the page, watch us live, all that good jazz. Welcome in. It's a Friday. It is a free-for-all Friday. That means today you get to decide the topics. I am just your political therapist helping you along as we do each and every day. Apparently a hate monger as well. Learned about that recently. Cool, all right. 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. If you want to join into the program, we'd love to hear from you on the ABC Recycling Hotlines. But first, I'm really excited to have him on the program. There's so much going on in D.C. that we had to get him on to chat about some of the details of what's happening, the mindset of some individuals up there, which we just don't understand, like the crazy AOCs and that sort. But I'm really excited to have on from the first congressional district on the western part of the state. Congressman Roger Marshall's on the line with us here. Congressman, how are you, my friend?
Hey, good morning, Andy. Thanks for having me on. Look forward to a good discussion here.
Yeah, I'm always excited to have you on, and I want to get your take on some of this because there is so many crazy things happening right now that I know a lot of people around here, we're just sitting back and saying D.C. is nuts. Let's start off with the first one that's happened a couple weeks ago, but it's still pertinent, is the fact that we passed a budget bill, with $1 trillion to get us through the spending till the end of the fiscal year in September-October time for the fall. But it included only something like 200 miles, or not even that, only like 50 miles of a wall. And now Donald Trump has declared the national emergency to appropriate funds there. Now it's being held up in court. This is a mess, isn't it, Congressman?
It sure is, Andy. And, from day one, I've said our goal is to build that wall. I've stood beside President Trump from day one on this issue, and, I'm supporting him where he is. I'm disappointed Congress couldn't do its job. I don't really see that the president had any other recourse but to do this, to declare the state of emergency, to gather some funding to do this. Look, I've been to the border. I know a crisis when I see it. I'm trying to get back down there again. I just talked to a congressman this week who spent 2 weeks down there as an Army Reserve officer. And there's an absolute crisis going on down there. It's our number one immediate national security threat.
It is sad that we don't see this as a crisis anymore. And the Democrats used to. I mean, if you remember, and I know you guys have talked about this, and there's been this message out there, the fact that just 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, the Democrats have advocated for it, voted for it, passed and built over 300 miles of a wall. Why all of a sudden is 200 miles now completely immoral and against American values?
Right. Well, what I always talk about is goals and objectives. And right now, Nancy Pelosi's number one goal is to make sure Donald Trump does not get reelected. So Nancy Pelosi is drowning. She's going down for the third time. She's trying to take President Trump down with her. This has nothing to do with what she thinks is the right thing for America. She's more concerned about who the next president's going to be than anything else. So it's not going to make sense. There's no logic that I can explain to answer your question. It's undefendable where the Democrats' position on this is at this time.
Yeah, I don't get that. How long do you think this is going to be held up in court? Obviously, the Democrats are already starting the process. It's going to be blocked. We have caravans that are still trying to come up to the border. We have military down there right now, which I think already shows that we have some type of crisis if the military has to be addressed to address this now. But how long do you think this is going to get held up, and do you think that we'll win at the end of the day?
Well, first of all, we've already appropriated some monies from last year, I think about $3 billion. They're in the process of finishing out those walls. We funded another 55 miles of wall. We funded more infrastructure, more technology. So we will fight that court battle while we're spending those money. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to have to trust President Trump that the businessman he is he's going to figure out ways to get this done. He's full speed ahead. I think he may get delayed in courts for a while, but I think he's already found some workaround already. So I've got faith in the man.
Sure. We're talking with Congressman Roger Marshall from the 1st District, and you've been up there for a few years now, and you've seen the change of leadership from the Republicans in the House to the Democrats. I got to ask you, the feel in Congress right now, how is it for Republicans? Is it frustrating? Do you go into an argument understanding that you're outnumbered right now? What's the mentality of how you fight the battles in the House at this point?
Yeah, so I came in just 2 years ago with the Republican majority, and then, of course, that gavel changed hands on January the 3rd. And I'm going to tell you, I've never been part of such a discombobulated organization as I am right now. They're constantly changing the schedule. So Ms. Pelosi controls the schedule. She is either the worst business person I've ever met, or she's just trying to be chaotic. But I think it comes natural to her. It's upside down. They change the schedule on this daily. If we're back home, she wants us there. If we're there, she wants us to go back home and not vote on anything meaningful. I would say, though, that we're making some progress. Our goal is to pick off some of them on some of the legislation that they're putting forward, and we're having some success. Like recently, we got quite a few of them to vote on some rules. They were trying to jam some gun control laws down our throats, and we threw on a motion that would require us to get back with the ICE agents if an illegal immigrant was trying to get a gun. And we got some of them to vote with us on it. So we're making progress. On the day-to-day committee level, it's not nearly as chaotic as what you see on TV, though. I would just want the people to know that every Tuesday night I have dinner with about 20 senators and congressmen. Half are Republicans, half are Democrats. Every Thursday morning we have a bipartisan prayer group. About 50 of us get together. So on the person-to-person level, we're trying to figure this deal out. Now, Ms. Pelosi's on TV every night and causing chaos. There's the circuit with the Cohen events. But on the behind the scenes, I think we're making some progress.
Which is really good, and it shows both the organization and the structure and the strength of the Republican Party right now, which the media does not show because they keep thinking that we're torn because of the Donald Trumpism and whether we agree or disagree or support or don't support. But when we see a headline like we saw this morning that completely validates what you just said of the fact that Nancy Pelosi is getting angry at the moderate, quote-unquote, Democrats voting with Republicans on some issues, that shows that they are broken internally and they don't know how to repair this.
Right, they're going to self-destruct it. I'm new to this game, but what I'm seeing is they're not sticking together, and there's such a big, loud group of new freshman Democrats that are pulling her far, far to her left, even left for Nancy Pelosi. So whether it's the new Green Deal or some of the other legislation, the gun legislation that they're putting forward, they're pulling her in a direction she knows is unsustainable. So they're fighting within. Is adding to this chaos. There's no direction from them. Again, their number one goal is to drag down the president.
Sure. Well, and we've seen with the hearing from a couple of days ago with the Cohen hearing, we saw the story that now they're going to try and start a new investigation, a new committee for the whether Trump has handled the free press and the media appropriately, and whether that's a new grounds for impeachment. I guess it's going to be just the when, not if, they're going to try and push for this impeachment, which is just absurd. And so far, obviously, since they continue with new investigations, they haven't found anything worth doing or worth pursuing. Correct.
Yeah, so 2 years of investigation. No collusion has ever been substantiated since day one. I've called this a witch hunt. The Cohen hearing yesterday, the day before, was a circus. What we know about Cohen is he's a liar and a felon. Why he's not in jail now? Why are they delaying his sentence? I have no idea. I have no idea what he's giving up in order to keep his freedom right now. But for the Democrat Party to undermine the president when he's out trying to negotiate national security for the United States, when he's out there trying to denuclearize North Korea, that they would do this is totally getting below the waist, and it's just a sad day. It's a circus right now, and this country needs to move on.
We do. We're talking with Congressman Roger Marshall from the 1st District, and let's shift gears to another major issue that is troubling. It is sad. I don't know how we've actually gotten to this point. I never fathomed that we would even have this discussion, but we saw New York and Virginia pushing for late-term abortions, Virginia even pushing it further to the point to where you can be dilated and in labor, and you can, what the governor has mentioned is you can resuscitate and you can set the baby aside, and then you discuss with your doctor on whether it's a good idea to abort then. I'm pretty sure that's a living human being. You guys tried to push on the Born Alive Act to at least protect this baby if it's born, if it's a botched abortion of some degree, and it got shot down in the Senate. I'm boggled. I am baffled at the fact that this is not pure common sense. And I know you're a doctor as well. From a doctor's standpoint, from your standpoint on this, how is this even okay? And is there any medical justification to say that while the baby is either botched from an abortion and still alive, or that you're in a late term, you're in dilated, you're delivering the baby, and now all of a sudden there's a medical issue to where you need to abort the baby? I may not be a doctor, but I don't understand that at all.
No, there's no justification, Andy. After 30 years of being an obstetrician, never in my wildest, worst nightmare would I have dreamed that I would have to go to Washington, D.C. and fight harder to save a new baby's life than I did as an obstetrician in the delivery room. I would have never dreamed it. I just have no idea where these ideas come from, to think that a baby could be born and then not given, we always said full benefit of the doubt to the baby when it comes to a gray area of its ability to survive. We always erred on the side of doing everything we could. So now a botched abortion leads to a baby that's born alive, and it happens. It happens, I don't know if it happens hundreds of times or thousands of times each year, but it's a significant number. To think that that baby has no rights to survive, and we have to write new legislation to oversee a state legislature. And I just got to go on with this late-term abortion stuff that is passed in New York. Did you ever think we would live in a society where people would stand up and cheer that they could kill a baby minutes before the woman goes into labor and say that that was okay? And Andy, I'm just telling you, God will not bless this country if we don't stand up today. For such a time as this, we've been called. You, your listeners, this is the time we have to stand up. We have to stand up and write our congressmen, our senators, our representatives, everyone from the state of Kansas, every representative needs to be getting cards and letters saying third trimester abortion is wrong. Now, I think all abortion is wrong, but certainly America thinks third trimester abortion is wrong, and certainly murdering newborn babies is wrong as well. We have to stand up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I never thought that I would see the day. Now, what's the argument that you've heard on the debate floors, on the discussion from the other side with trying to justify it? They say it's the woman's right and it's the woman's health, but if the baby's already out, the woman is out of the conversation at that point, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I've not heard any argument. There's no argument other than that's the way they want it. So I can't even try to articulate any type of argument in defense of it. So you've got me.
Yeah, I'm at a loss on that one as well. Congressman Roger Marshall, between all these issues, with the abortion issue where they've gone completely off the deep end on, with the Green New Deal, with AOC, and the craziness going on with the progressives taking, as you mentioned, the Democrats going farther and farther and farther to the left, even more so than what Nancy Pelosi feels a little uncomfortable with, but she sees that being the movement. And then with the Democratic presidential hopefuls, with Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris and with Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren, with all these, do you see the self-destruct happening within the Democrats right now? Because right now, if they can even put their own party together to vote on issues that are that extreme, that means that the majority of even American citizens don't want that extreme agenda. And I see them crumbling in a 2020 election across the board with the presidency and in our congressional races.
Absolutely, Andy. I've said all along the Democrats are going to fumble this football. Through some deceit, they were able to win the majority in the House of Representatives. I see them fumbling that football right now. I see that when people really see what some of these Democrats they elected in swing states, when they see that they're against life, when they're against the Second Amendment, when they want to triple your taxes, when they want to take your health care away from you. Do people realize that this health care plan that they're talking about will take away your health care if you're on Medicare, or if you use your health insurance through your employer? It's going to double your taxes. The government's going to control what doctor you see, what hospital you see, and cause delays 6 to 9 months at a time. The Green New Deal, the same thing. It's going to triple your taxes. It's going to double your electricity bill. It'll be the end of Kansas agriculture if the Green New Deal is implemented. So those wacky far-left ideas are being exposed for what they are. I think the Republicans can win back this majority on the House side, keep the Senate, and of course we've got to reelect President Trump.
Absolutely. Last question before we let you go, but what is on the agenda for the next couple of days and for the next couple of weeks? Is it the health care issue that we may see come back up? Is it the taxes again? What could we see in the near future?
Well, the climate change issue is front and center right now, it looks like. Now, the Democrats' focus is going to be to continue to have hearings, bringing up everybody from Mike Pompeo, just any person they can drag up in front of them and try to embarrass. So that's their agenda, that and trying to make climate change front and center as well. That's what I see us looking at as well. We'll be continuing to promote this Born Alive Survivor Act again, and I'll be introducing a third trimester abortion bill as well that surely I can get 20 Democrats to come on board with us and say third trimester abortions are wrong as well. So those are some of the issues front and center for me.
Well, that's really good, and I guess they got to be careful because their political capital may be in jeopardy with Nancy Pelosi realizing that they're going to come on board with Republicans to vote for something like that. So God bless you, my friend. Congressman Ron Estes from the 1st District. Keep up the fight. I know that you guys are in the minority right now, but it's going to be short-lived, and you guys still are fighting the good fight. So we appreciate that, and we got to talk to you again here real soon.
All right, Andy. Keep praying for us. Thank you.
Hey, always a pleasure. Congressman Roger Marshall right there. I know he's a busy guy, and we appreciate the time that he gives here on the show. Got to take a break. We'll get your phone calls when we come back. 23 minutes past the hour right here on a Friday episode of The Voice of Reason.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Are you withdrawn, angry, or irritable when you can't text or check your apps? Do you think that you just couldn't live without your smartphone? Maybe you're addicted to your smartphone and should be using a dumb phone. Kim Commando with your Friday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by SimpliSafe, the most innovative and comprehensive wireless protection for your home. Order yours at simplysafekim.com. Smartphone addiction has its own moniker, nomophobia, short for no mobile phone phobia. The signs and symptoms of smartphone addiction are both physical and psychological. Maybe you're anxious, stressed out by social media, or can't stand still without checking your phone. The good news? There are now phones that won't let you download any apps. You can't use Facebook or Instagram. You can't browse the web, text, or email either. These so-called dumb phones don't have an internet connection. You can only make and receive phone calls. That's it. They're not cheap. Expect to pay $400 for a dumb phone that, like your smartphone, still has a dumb battery. I'm Kim Commando. For years, I've been telling you about my printer of choice, the Epson EcoTank 4750. And it's easy to tell you why. It's revolutionary, it's wireless, and a complete all-in-one printer that's 100% cartridge-free. Now, I don't know about you, but I used to hate to having my print jobs interrupted just to replace an ink cartridge. Now, there's no more hassle with the Epson EcoTank 4750 because it comes with up to 2 years of ink right in the box. That's enough to print up to 11,000 color pages, and that's equivalent to about 30 ink cartridge sets. If I had to go buy 30 cartridge sets, that would cost me about $1,500. I love my Epson EcoTank printer, and I know you will too. And from now till March 31st, buy any EcoTank printer at Epson.com/EcoTankKim and get free overnight shipping when you use promo code EcoTankKim at checkout.
Offer valid within the 48 contiguous states. Exclusions apply, subject to availability.
Here's some simple math for you. Chevy cars and trucks just cost less at Countryside Motors in Wellington. You want the best price on a Silverado in Kansas or Oklahoma? Check out Countryside Motors in Wellington. Are you looking for that perfect SUV? They have the great selection of Buick Enclaves, Envisions, and Encores, again, at the best prices anywhere. Countryside Motors in Wellington. Folks, it's simple math. For the best prices on cars and trucks, check out Countryside Motors in Wellington. Online at countrysidemotors.net. Simple math. Best prices. Come on out to the country and save. Countryside Motors in Wellington, Kansas.
You will not want to miss the Chisholm Trail Gun Show, one of Wichita's and Kansas' oldest and most popular shows, sponsored by Chisholm Trail Antique Gun Association. The show is March 9th and 10th at Hartman Arena in Park City. This is one gun show with something for everyone. Doors open at 9 o'clock both Saturday and Sunday morning. Table after table of guns, hunting supplies, ammunition, and shooting supplies. Buy, sell, trade. The Chisholm Trail Gun Show at Hartman Arena, March 9th and 10th in Park City.
The Miller Minute with Dennis Miller.
I want to talk about the breakdown in the talks with North Korea in Vietnam. Doesn't this seem much more in the flow of normal negotiations, normal activity when you're meeting with another country about important issues? Let me break it down and give you the triptych on this. First off, it's refreshing that we eventually set up these summits with Kim Jong-un. We get him to agree to no testing, which he seems to have held to over the last year. We meet again. We are not going to take a bad deal. So the president walks out. Amiably, it seems. They agree to meet again, and now they have a firm understanding of what we're going to need on our side of the negotiation. Now, on the other side of that, you have the Obama administration. They never even met with him, and missiles continued to be lobbed into the Sea of Japan. And yet, what, Trump's the stupid one? And that's the minute. I'm Dennis Miller.
Some job recruitment sites overload your inbox with resumes.
Glassdoor knows not just any will do. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. In fact, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer, and Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Oh, hey.
Hey, did you hear? My friend's company was the victim of an email impersonation attack.
It's a serious threat to every business.
What if cybercriminals target us and trick accounting into making a wire transfer?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda.
So we're secured?
Yeah. Barracuda uses artificial intelligence to detect and block spear phishing and account takeover attempts.
What a relief.
Don't become a victim. Protect your business at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
This is Jim Bohannon. Join me live weeknights at 9. Now, back to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Crazy stuff in the world. Yes, it is. Thanks again to Congressman Roger Marshall from the 1st District on the western part of the state coming on board, joining us for a little bit here. We always appreciate his time. All of our congressmen times. Ron Estes in the 4th District here. We've got to get Steve Watkins on the show. Haven't been able to get him on. He's been busy. I know freshman getting settled in. And Therese Davids, we'll try and get her on. I don't know. She's one of those, though, that's gone on board with the AOC-style politics. And that's one that we need to clean up here in Kansas because we cannot have that representing us in the state, can we? No, not allowed to have something like that. So we'll work on that one come up in the 2020 election. But can you imagine the big topical issue now, the big, what he said, the big priority that they're going to focus on in D.C. is going to be climate change. Are you kidding me? Really? That's going to be the focus? AOC has won by bringing that to the topical discussion now in D.C. It's not going to be the taxes 2.0, tax cuts. Not going to be getting our spending under control, obviously, if we're doing climate change garbage. It's not going to be the, hopefully he can bring up the Born Alive Act again, trying to protect babies from there. But it's going to be climate change. The Green Deal actually gaining traction to have a discussion. It shouldn't even be a discussion point. It should be a, that's really dumb, and you toss it to the side kind of talk. We appreciate Congressman Roger Marshall, especially from the doctor's perspective on that one. We'll talk about some of that and more when we come back. Plus, we got another pair of tickets to Metallica to give away before the end of the show. We'll check in with the Inman Harvest Cafe for their Fried Chicken Friday. All that and more coming up on the end of a Friday episode of The Voice of Reason. Stay right here.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
The latest issue from the nation's capital coming under suspicion from lawmakers.
The White House isn't commenting on a New York Times report that President Trump ordered his former chief of staff to give his son-in-law and advisor Jared Kushner a top-secret security clearance, despite the concerns of top officials. A spokesman for Kushner's lawyer says there was no pressure from anyone.
Noting the White House has been mum on questions surrounding top-secret clearances, the chairman of the House Oversight and Reform Committee, Elijah Cummings, is threatening to subpoena Jared Kushner. President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, will return to Capitol Hill next week to testify before the House Intelligence Committee.
As I said, I'm committed to telling the truth, and I will be back on March 6th to finish up. There's more to discuss.
President Trump is claiming that Cohen shopped a book to publishers that portrayed Trump in a favorable light, at odds with Cohen's damning testimony to Congress this week. I'm John Trout.
Texting enrolls for recurring automated marketing text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Texting privacy rules and terms and conditions at textrules.us. Are you sick of frozen meals or unhealthy fast food? Martha Stewart is doing a free taste test, giving away 3 full-sized meals from her meal kit delivery service, Martha and Marley Spoon. To be part of Martha's at-home taste test and get 3 free meals, text the word CRAVE to 246-810. It's so easy. Text us now. Martha's meals are easy, simple, and delicious. To be part of Martha's at-home taste test and get your 3 free meals, text CRAVE to 246-810. That's CRAVE to 246-810. CRAVE to 246-810.
Right now, rejuvenating your bathroom is a pleasure at the Home Depot. Starting with the powerful Waterpik Torrent Shower Head at a new lower price of just $19.98. With 9 spray settings, including a power pulse massage with up to twice the massage force of other spray heads. So treat your bath well, and it'll return the favor. Save on the Waterpik Torrent Shower Head, now during the Winter Kitchen and Bath event. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through March 24th, while supplies last.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Friday. The Kansas Highway Patrol says a man died following a crash in Greenwood County early yesterday afternoon. The crash happened just after noontime on Highway 54 at the K-99 junction east of Eureka. Troopers say a car driven by Terrence Lucas of Yucca, Oklahoma, failed to yield at an intersection and was struck by a semi. The 53-year-old Lucas died from his injuries. The truck driver also had minor injuries. The future of the ombudsman position at the Kansas Department for Children and Families is unclear. In the past, the ombudsman was available for parents who were frustrated with the agency for some reason. Wichita Eagle reports that new leaders at DCF are expanding a team that responds to foster families and others, and that team may not include an ombudsman. And winter storm watch is posted for the majority of Kansas by the National Weather Service as another snow event takes aim on the state. Mid-American Network News. You've worked hard all year, and so has your truck. Show your truck some love and share your tax refund with your truck by surprising it with truck accessories from Continental Truck Accessories. Its headlamps will light up with a new Century or ATC topper or lid, a bed cargo system to organize, protect, and secure your equipment or stuff, Nerf bars and running boards to help your mom climb in and out or yourself after a hard day or night. See Continental Truck Accessories and show your truck some tax refund love. 6701 South Broadway. Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop, 1946 West 13th Street in the heart of Riverside. It's not just a name of a shop. Scott Child started the shop back in 1974. He has perhaps the best inventory of all kinds of clocks that he's ever had in his business. That means great selection for you. If you've never checked it out, you owe it to yourself. Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop. Over 340 years of roofing experience, and that's just the management and estimating team. It's no wonder Ray Roofing is one of the most successful roofing companies in Kansas. As a sixth-generation family-owned business, Ray Roofing specializes in built-up, modified, cold-applied, EPDM, TPO, and tapered roofing systems. Whether the structure roof is commercial, sheet metal, or flat residential, Ray Roofing was founded on the belief that a roof is only as good as the roofer applying it. Ray Roofing, online at WRAYroofing.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, mostly sunny, high around 47, mostly cloudy and 22 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of only 35. Snow in the forecast Saturday night could be heavy at times with blustery conditions, a low around 11. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:35, it's currently 28 degrees.
Call the Voice of Reason now on the ABC Recycling phone lines at 721-8255. This is the Big Talker, KQAM. Defending the rights of every Kansan.
I'm not being aggressive, I'm being dominant.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
This half hour of the broadcast is brought to you by Wildwood Cellars. It's more than just buying your bottle of wine, but you can find ways and learn tips about how to find the wine that you like, not the wine you're supposed to like. There is a difference. Sometimes you like the drier, the sweet, or the semi-sweet, or maybe different flavored wines, or maybe even the mead. I'm kind of in the mood to have a little bit of mead this weekend myself. From the nationally acclaimed vineyard right here in Kansas, it's Wildwood Cellars. You can visit them, their main office off the Turnpike in Mulvane, or at our shop at Maple and Ridge in Wichita. It's Wildwood Cellars, online at wildwoodsellars.com. Again, wildwoodsellars.com. Thanks again to Roger Marshall coming on, Congressman from the 1st District. Let's go to the phones. It is open lines to you on a free-for-all Friday. For the rest of the program, what's on your mind? Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, good morning. This is Drew.
Drew, good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing great. Needed to bring to your attention a little thing here that I think everybody needs to be aware of.
Okay.
I know it's no big shock to you that the media sucks. That the media is manipulating things.
No, hold on. The media is fair and balanced, and they give the news, and they don't report opinion, and they only go it right down the middle of the aisle. They report the fact, and that's it.
Hang on just a second. I gotta pick up some glass. You just busted my sarcasm meter. I mean, it just boom. Pop that puppy. Hey, so anyway, we need to, as consumers, we need to, as members of a republic, more than ever, need to go searching for real information. Right now, the socialists are playing their game with good fact, bad fact, real fact, and the media is part of their shock troops. So, otherwise you don't hear about rhinos that we've got up there, that you're uncovering. But one of the other things, and this is what I call it, is that we're being played not for the purposes of politics by some of these places, but for the purposes of profit. Do you remember a few months back, Gillette did their the best a man can be campaign that just exploded?
They tried the whole Me Too movement.
Did you happen to notice one thing about that thing? It never made it to the TV set.
No, of course not. No, it was all the social media stuff, because that's where the young kids that actually agreed with it did it. At the same time, they still had their Gillette bikini girls at different sporting events to try and attract the male thing, while saying that males that try and go after women because of that mentality are sexist, and the whole hashtag Me Too thing. So yeah, it was cute.
Okay, do you remember Colin Kaepernick's Nike association and how that blew up?
Well, we do see shoes literally blowing up on the basketball court now, so yeah, I'd say it blew up pretty good.
Okay, so this is a new strategy that these companies are using. That they're going out, they're pushing the social dynamic, the let's you and him fight, because they take initial heat on it, but then they make big money on it. Go look at how much money Gillette's made. Go look at how much money Nike's made. Good case in point, one coming up here, and this is one that I know is going to be near and dear to your heart, because I know how much you love superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's last year, the movie Black Panther made a ton of money.
Sure.
Why? Because it was promoted as a movie that was for Black Americans. It was one where we had churches taking people to go see the movie, where we had and it was really heavily promoted as a turning event culturally.
So you're saying that businesses and entertainment now, instead of saying what we've tried to say is, if you don't want divisiveness with your product and have some people really enjoy it and then leave out an entire consumer base, you're saying that now the new marketing strategy is to create the controversy, because it may damage them temporarily, but in the long run, their name's still out there. No publicity is bad publicity, sort of thing. And even the controversy is leading towards profits and generating success for the business now by openly starting a conversation and a dialogue and argument.
Except it's more insidious than that. Here, most recent one, that's why I mention it. Case in point, new superhero movie coming out here in the next week or two from Marvel is Ms. Marvel with Brie Larson. She got up and she has been just absolutely going gonzo about, this is my way of expressing my feminism. This is my way. This is my weapon. Okay, so this is all fine, and so forth, and it could go big and it could blow up. But here's the thing why I tell you got to pay attention to this. Marvel Studios is owned by Disney.
Sure.
ABC News is owned by Disney. The View is owned by ABC.
Sure.
What we're seeing here are these companies are utilizing their relationships and their corporate cross-holdings to go ahead and light up people like you and me, to go ahead and jack up the social consciousness with phony, identity politics, all for the purposes of, like Gillette did, let's go ahead and kick the beehive and then pick up the honey.
That's an interesting point, and I definitely see the connections there. I mean, you're right. You create an issue. All the talking heads around the country talk about it, including the ones that they own as well. So you have the conversation, and, of course, those are going to be in favor of, oh, yeah, they're bringing in awareness, and, oh, it's going to be really cute, and, oh, it's going to be really great. And then people get excited and end up going and seeing it. They're using one also, which, I mean, I guess is a smart business motive to some degree, but when it comes to social behavior and the social experiment that is, then they are really changing the dynamic, which is, again, reinforcing reinforces the idea of you and I as conservatives saying that we need to question everything. And if we do stand on a principle or on a value or on a moral and something doesn't click with what we stand for, then we don't go and use that product. And that's why maybe I need to buy Gillette because I'm getting a little roughly in the beard here. But, the Gillette, or, I'm not going to go see a Marvel movie because I think superhero movies are ridiculous and absurd right now, and they've been taken way too far. But a lot of people are going to go see them.
When it comes to morality, and really that's what that comes down to, is because if you remember that great quote, our nation, our Constitution was made for a moral people. We now have large companies. ABC is one of the big 6 media companies. When we now have large companies who are trying to manipulate us, not for the betterment of us, not for the betterment of the nation, not for any reason except for money, there's something immoral about that, in my opinion.
Sure. Very interesting. Drew, I appreciate that very much, my friend. There's some great points. And have a great weekend. I appreciate the phone call very much. 316-721-8255. Maybe I need to shave. I don't know. I kind of enjoy the beard. Kind of enjoy it. I don't know. Chicks apparently dig it. I don't know. My wife enjoys it. And according to the latest studies, it is the majority of women like masculine type of guys. This whole B-rated kind of feminine type of male is not the kind that attracts females. Although they do want, in some degrees with the feminist movement, the masculinity confession to not be as masculine, but they like the manly kind of man. I do look kind of like a lumberjack today. I got my nice plaid shirt on today, but because it's insulated and it's warm because it's really cold outside, thanks to AOC and the global warming. Now, thanks, global warming, but it's cold outside, so I'm wearing my insulated shirt. But with that and then with the beer, I don't know, maybe I'm pushing on a little bit of the masculinity stuff today. We'll have to see. I'm not drinking an energy drink that says also promotes the masculinity issue as well, but I don't know, masculinity taking it to another level, maybe. And I don't. The only thing is, here, I look kind of like a hipster today, which I apologize for, because the hipster thing drives me nuts. The only thing I'm missing is the man bun, but I'm not going to do that. But here's the difference. I can actually change the tire on my vehicle. I know. I can change it on the side of the street. I, have split wood by hand, unlike many hipsters. I know, right? I don't go to a hipster coffee shop and sit there with my latte and talk about my iPhone. I'm just saying. So there is a little bit of difference there. Someone actually truly representing, but now probably going to get lumped in with the same category of the crazy hipsters today that wear really tight skinny jeans that are probably their girlfriends in the same place. So, hey, I'm just saying, throwing it out there. There's a little bit different styles in society today, is there not? 316-721-8255. There's a headline right now as well with the weather. Speaking of the weather, and as we talk about climate change and that being the front discussion in D.C. now, there's a story saying that there will be, according to weather predictors for the year, that there will be 1,075 tornadoes this year in the country. And we are right in the heart of it. So I don't know, Kansas may see a crazy year when it comes to spring and early summer for the tornado season. But according to the predictions, there will be 1,075 tornadoes in the country this year as we talk about climate change. And it's really cold outside. And AOC wants the Green New Deal. Now we're talking about it getting warmer. And now remember, you got to remember the science behind how a tornado is created. You got the hot weather and the cold weather that mixes. So the heat's going to be coming in with the cold weather, but there's still going to be some cold weather. So I don't know. Is that an increase of climate change and global warming, or is it just the weather? I don't know. So let's go to the phones and see. 316-721-8255 on the ABC Recycling Hotlines. Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Well, we have a 100% chance of climate today.
There's a 100% chance of it doing something today. So I guess we can assume that. And I'll be prepared because that means the end of the world's probably going to happen.
Well, I would like to thank the non-indigenous settlers of this country for getting rid of the approximately 30 million buffalo so we don't have to deal with the environmental methane impact from why doesn't AOC call those angry old white men, why doesn't she call them the original environmentalists?
That is true. Kill off all the buffalo so that way we don't have any buffalo farts that are creating climate change and methane into the atmosphere. That's a great point. We are not getting the credit we deserve.
Yeah, I'm going to fold a little bit of news into the climate change. So, Mark Meadows got accused by that other radical over there in Congress of being a racist because he brought a longtime black woman friend of the Trump administration to the Cohen hearings.
Sure.
And she called him, called her a prop.
Right.
So here's what's interesting.
Unlike any other black person that they hype up as being an elected Democrat in Congress because they fought the Republican racists.
Yeah. Well, and the interesting thing is, it's their global warming strategy. So, see, if you're a old white dude and you say, "Look, I know plenty of black people. I know this black person. I brought him here. See, you are a racist. But if you don't hire or have any black friends, you're a racist. If it's warm, it's global warming. If it's cold, it's global warming."
See, that's again,
you can't win.
You're right. They can't win. You can't win because you're on the wrong side of the aisle. They set the tone, which is why that precedent's very dangerous because now you have hate crimes going on that are fake hate crimes, but to create the atmosphere of hate crimes going on. And I mean, being the ones that are in the media right now saying that Donald Trump spurred some type of civil unrest and hate crimes all across the country and encourages KKK members and all this other garbage, that's just not true. They set the precedent, and it's whatever they want at the time. If it's climate change, then if it's warming, then that means it's warming because of global warming. If it's cooling, that means because it's climate and it's warming, so that way it cooled down. If you have friends that are a different skin color, then therefore you're a racist because you're using them as props. If you don't have any, then you're racist because you don't get out and actually branch out to talk to people other than your skin color. So you're right. It is all about their narrative and how they want to approach it because, again, I'm telling you, it's going to shoot themselves in the foot because they're going to harm themselves by trying to catch 22 everybody, and then they're going to look at themselves or people are going to look at them and be like, wow, you don't fit the narrative either. It's very true. All right, I want to clear the lines. I'm sorry if you're on there on hold. I'm going to clear all the lines because we're going to give away a pair of tickets to Metallica, the very final pair that we have. And we've loved giving them away each and every time. But now the final pair. Can you guess the name of the song right here on The Voice of Reason? Here's how the game's played as I play a little bit of the song. And this one's going to be a little bit different because it's the final one, which means it needs to be a little bit more difficult for you, but it's because it's the final pair of tickets and the show's on Monday. So it's a newer song. Do you know the name of the song? This is actually one of my new favorite songs because I think it's fantastic. But can you guess it as a hint? This song was the one that they performed. What was it? The Grammys or the Emmys or something just like a year or two ago with Lady Gaga, and then the vocals weren't working and the microphone was not turned on and there was an issue, but it's that song. Can you guess the name of the song? At 316-721-8255. We'll see if anybody knows this one. It's a little bit more difficult, but can you guess the name of the Metallica song with a little bit of a twist with their new stuff? All right, let's see. All right, we got the phones lit up. Let's go to it. Can you guess it? This is a tough one. I don't know if you'll get this one. Line number one, who's this? Hello. Yeah.
Is it Moth the Flames?
Moth the Flames, baby. First one. There it is. We got it, my friend. Congratulations. You just won a pair of tickets. The final pair we had to Metallica coming up at Interest Bank Arena on Monday night. It is going to be one hell of a show. And you just won the last pair that we had. Congratulations, my friend. This show is awesome. I love it. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. Opening markets on KQAM. Brought to you by Schmidt & Sons of Mount Hope and Winfield.
Mixed in the livestock, mixed in the grains and soybeans. Going to start our Friday like that. Let's check the ag futures markets. Brady Charles at Schwieterman Incorporated is along with all the information. Good morning, Brady.
Good morning. Yeah, mixed start to the Friday and to a new month here. We've got February live cattle currently trading steady at $129.95. April's up 15 at $130 even. June's up 15 at $120.30. March feeders are down 35 at $142.50. April's down 2 cents at $146.12, and May is up 2 cents at $147.27. April lean hogs are up 37 at 56.22. In the grain markets, March Kansas City wheat's up a quarter at 441 1/4. May's down 3 3/4 at 440 3/4. July's down 3 1/4 at 450 even. March Chicago's down 6 1/2 at 446. July's down 3 3/4 at 462 3/4. March spring wheat's up 2 at 569. In the corn market, March is down a half at 361 1/2. May is steady at 370 3/4, and July is up a quarter at 379 3/4. March beans are up 3 1/2 at 901. May's up 3 at 913 1/4. Nove's up 2 1/4 at 946. March bean oil's up 25 at 30.21. The meal's up 40 at 302.70. This has been Brady Charles from Sweeterman Incorporated. For questions on these markets, any other markets, and all your marketing needs, please give us a call at 800-272-9131 or visit us online at upthelimit.com.
Genuine starts at Schmidt & Sons. This is Leroy the Tractor Man from Schmidt & Sons. There's one easy way to keep your AGCO equipment productive all year. That's with genuine preventive maintenance parts from AGCO. Whether it's a combine, tractor, hay products, tillage, or planting equipment, by using genuine AGCO replacement parts, you get the promise of maximum performance and increased uptime. Did you know you can purchase the parts you need for the upcoming year and have no payments and no interest charge for 180 days with a minimum order of $1,000? With an AGCO Plus charge card, it's just that simple, and we can help you with the application. You can always use those preventive maintenance parts like oil, filters, DEF, batteries, ground engaging parts, just to name a few. This is a super program. Come to Schmidt & Sons in Winfield or Mount Hope and take advantage of the program, or find us on the web at schmittinc.com.
Just the turning on the charm with a tractor in each arm. Down at Schmidt & Sons.
Joe and the guys at Carl's Goodyear, well, they are nice guys. That's the only way to describe them. Need new tires? Got you covered. Flat tire fixed? Done. Tune-up? Oil change? Brakes? Exhaust? Radiator? You get the idea. They do almost everything for your vehicle. They will also give you a ride when your car is in the shop. Nice guys who know auto repair, but above that, they know people and treat them like they would want to be treated. Carl's Goodyear, right on the corner of Market and Waterman, 264-5385.
Giving the left one dose of sanity at a time. The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on KQAM, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM.
If you did not win a pair of Metallica tickets, don't fret, don't worry. And congratulations to all our winners. We gave a good amount of pairs away, and it was a lot of fun. Don't worry, coming up on Tuesday, March 19th, after the Metallica concert in just a few weeks here, we do have Shinedown coming up to Intrust Bank Arena. That one we have some tickets to that we'll give away here in just a little bit as well in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned in, and we'll give some Shinedown away here on the show. It is Fried Chicken Friday from the Inman Harvest Cafe, 112 South Main Street in downtown Inman. We always love that, and after a great show today, like usual, then I get a little hungry. It's so funny, our 4-year-old says, hungry. Dad, I'm hungry. Yeah. Well, we need some fried chicken, that's why. Katie's on the line with us here. Katie, good morning. Happy Fried Chicken Friday to you.
Good morning, Andy. Happy Fried Chicken March.
Yeah, it's March already. We are into spring season now, hopefully. If the groundhog didn't lie to us, we got St. Patty's Day around the corner, and it's a Friday.
Yeah, so it can't get any better.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys always have I think this is the day you have the most fun out of the whole week, because you have the breakfast, you have the lunch buffet, the dinner buffet, you have fried chicken, you have roast beef, you have pies, you have all the good stuff. What's on the slate? What are you guys working on today?
Okay, so today we are having little Salisbury steaks, individual little Salisbury steaks, and they'll have the brown gravy on top of them, and then like half the pan's going to have some sautéed mushrooms and onions, and the other half's not, because we have people who are like violently protesting mushrooms. I love mushrooms personally, but I know that there are a lot of people out there who just won't eat them, so we're just going to and I even have some people who will just go and scrape all of the mushrooms and onions off and put that on their plate and not eat the meat. So whatever.
Sure.
You know.
Well, I'm one of those too.
Eat what you want. I don't care.
I'm not a big mushroom person, so I'm glad you're doing that, because I'd be one of those.
Yeah, half and half. So then, and then we're also going to have a chicken pot pie, so that's your chicken, and then a saucy, chicken pot pie. And then we'll have our homemade pie crust over top of that. We'll have that out there because that's kind of wintry, since it's still cold.
Sure.
Nasty.
I like it. Nice
weather.
And warm and heart-filling. Yes, it sticks to the ribs.
Yeah. And then the other thing is au gratin potatoes.
Okay.
Homemade au gratin potatoes. Yeah.
And the potatoes, too, another just kind of heartwarming, nice, warm food to make you feel good.
I like to mix it all up in a big gloppy mess.
With a burrito, with the tortilla.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
With a tortilla.
Then it's finger food after that.
It's finger food, yeah. I love it. Now, you also have, we got to remind everybody, the lunch buffet from 11 to 1, but for the dinner buffet, you had the roast beef as well, but you have the free slice of pie. You got to get that,
right.
When you walk in, grab your slice, go sit down, so that way you don't miss out the slice that's really calling your name. What kind of pies do you have on the slate today?
Okay, today we have coconut, custard, banana split, peach crumb, apple, pecan. We've got a mystery pie that's like a berry cream pie. It's got all kinds of different berries in it. It's really yummy. And then, and so today, March 1st, is Peanut Butter Lovers Appreciation Day. So we are having peanut butter cookie cream cheese pie for those peanut butter people out there.
I do. Yeah. I get into really moods where I crave it and then I don't want it for a long time. So that's perfect, and that sounds really yummy. So I like it. It's the Inman Harvest Cafe. You guys have very unique, wonderful, yummy foods with the pies, all the great stuff, heartwarming. It's all fresh made, handmade. There's nothing out of the box or can, and we love it. It's the Inman Harvest Cafe, 112 South Main Street, downtown Inman. Go check them out, 620-585-6925. Katie, you guys enjoy. Happy March, happy Friday, and we'll check in with you again next week.
All right. Thanks, Andy. We'll talk to you then.
Always a pleasure right there. We love it, and we appreciate that very much. That's it. Everybody have a great weekend. We're back on Monday. State Representative Leo Delperding joining us in studio Monday at 8 a.m. Until then, enjoy the weekend and stay warm.
Coming spring 2019.
Hail.
Ouch. Oh.
Wind. Freezing temperatures. Tornadoes. That's mayhem.
Hi, I'm Mark Collier, your local Allstate agent. We're your insurance agency interested in doing what's best for you. Before mayhem strikes, call us at our Goddard office, 316-413-4014, and find us on Facebook at Collier Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Spring is right around the corner. Your truck is getting excited because it knows it's almost time to go out and play. I've got Bob Shippers with me from Continental Truck Accessories down on South Broadway. Bob, it is the season to get the trucks ready for playtime.
Absolutely, Rick. Get your truck ready with a new Sentry or ATC topper or lid, soft cover, tonneau cover, roll and lock, grill guard, and don't forget their hitches, receivers, and fifth wheels to be able to tow your boat, camper, and your other play toys.
See Continental Truck Accessories at 6701 South Broadway.
This is a Steckline Communications station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center, brought to you by Heartland Avionics and JD Aviation, your aircraft maintenance partners at Augusta Municipal Airport. Learn more at iflyaugusta.com.
Good Friday morning. The U.S. Attorney's Office says two people from Wichita, 34-year-old Mark Mullins and 35-year-old Kamala Blanchard, have been charged with 1 count each of making counterfeit bills and 2 counts of passing them. The crimes are alleged to have occurred back in December of 2017 and January of last year. If convicted, both Mullins and Blanchard face a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in federal prison and a fine of $250,000. A school bus carrying 3 students involved in a South Wichita wreck around 3:30 yesterday afternoon near Hydraulic and Wassel. Cake TV reports Sedgwick County Dispatch confirmed that a van had hit the school bus. School spokesperson Susan Arnsman said the students were from Dunlap Transition Campus at Chisholm, a program for students with special needs. One student complained about minor injuries but refused medical treatment. And the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for Sedgwick County tomorrow night through Sunday.